The kingdom of the Whispering Winds. Once upon a time, in a land far away, there was a kingdom known as Etheria. This kingdom was unlike any other, for it floated high above the clouds, suspended in the sky by the magic of the Whispering Winds. The Whispering Winds were not ordinary breezes, they were sentient, speaking in soft tones and carrying messages across the land. The people of Etheria lived in harmony with these winds, relying on their guidance and protection. In this kingdom lived a young prince named Zephyr. Zephyr was known for his adventurous spirit and his deep connection with the Whispering Winds. He could often be found at the highest point of the kingdom, listening to the winds as they shared tales of distant lands and ancient secrets. Though he loved his home, Zephyr longed to explore the world below the clouds, a place he had only heard of in stories. One day, while Zephyr was listening to the winds, they brought him troubling news. "The winds that hold Etheria in the sky are weakening," they whispered. "A dark force is trying to break the bond between the kingdom and the winds. If nothing is done, Etheria will fall." Alarmed, Zephyr knew he had to act quickly. He went to his father, King Aeolus, and told him what the winds had said. The king, a wise and just ruler, understood the gravity of the situation. "We must protect our kingdom, my son," King Aeolus said. "But to do so, we need the Crystal of Gale, an ancient artifact that has the power to strengthen the Whispering Winds. It is hidden in the Cave of Echoes, far below, on the earth." Zephyr volunteered immediately. "I will go, father. I will find the Crystal of Gale and save our kingdom." The king, though worried, trusted his son's courage and wisdom. He gave Zephyr a small, enchanted amulet shaped like a feather. "This will protect you on your journey. Remember, the winds will always guide you." Zephyr set out on his quest, riding a swift cloud ship that descended from Etheria towards the earth below. The journey was perilous, with dark clouds and fierce storms trying to hinder his progress. But Zephyr kept the amulet close, and the Whispering Winds whispered encouragement in his ear, guiding him safely through the tempest. After days of travel, Zephyr reached the earth, a place that felt both strange and wondrous to him. He landed in a dense forest where the trees whispered in the breeze, their leaves shimmering like silver. Following the wind's guidance, Zephyr made his way to the Cave of Echoes. The entrance to the cave was hidden behind a waterfall, its waters sparkling in the sunlight. Zephyr took a deep breath and stepped through the waterfall, finding himself in a vast cavern where every sound echoed endlessly. The air was thick with magic, and Zephyr could feel the presence of the Crystal of Gale deep within the cave. As he ventured deeper, Zephyr encountered the cave's guardian, a giant eagle with feathers of pure gold and eyes that gleamed like amber. The eagle spread its wings, blocking Zephyr's path. "Who dares enter the Cave of Echoes?" the eagle demanded, its voice reverberating through the cavern. "I am Prince Zephyr of Etheria," Zephyr replied, standing tall. "I seek the Crystal of Gale to save my kingdom from falling." The eagle studied Zephyr for a moment before speaking. "The Crystal of Gale is powerful, but it can only be taken by one who is pure of heart and truly cares for their people. To prove your worth, you must answer this riddle. What can you hold in your right hand but not in your left?" Zephyr thought for a moment, then smiled and answered, "My left hand." The eagle nodded in approval, and with a mighty flap of its wings, it revealed a hidden chamber within the cave. In the center of the chamber, on a pedestal of stone, sat the Crystal of Gale. The crystal was a brilliant blue, glowing with an inner light that pulsed gently like a heartbeat. Zephyr approached the crystal, and as he touched it, he felt a surge of energy and warmth. The Whispering Winds swirled around him, their voices full of joy. "You have found it, Zephyr. The Crystal of Gale will save Etheria." With the crystal in hand, Zephyr hurried back to his cloud ship and ascended once more into the sky. The journey back was just as challenging, but Zephyr's determination and the crystal's power helped him overcome every obstacle. When he finally returned to Etheria, the kingdom was on the brink of collapse, teetering on the edge of the sky. Zephyr rushed to the highest point in the kingdom, where a great stone circle known as the Circle of Wind stood. Placing the Crystal of Gale in the center of the circle, Zephyr watched as the crystal began to glow brighter and brighter. The Whispering Winds gathered around it, their strength restored. The winds lifted Etheria higher into the sky, stabilizing the kingdom and banishing the dark force that had threatened it. The people of Etheria rejoiced, and King Aeolus embraced his son, proud of his bravery and love for his home. From that day on, the Crystal of Gale was kept in the Circle of Winds, a symbol of the bond between the kingdom and the Whispering Winds. Prince Zephyr continued to explore the skies, always listening to the winds and protecting his kingdom. And so, Etheria flourished, floating high above the clouds, forever safe in the embrace of the Whispering Winds. And they all lived happily ever after. I hope you enjoyed this fairy tale. Once upon a time, in the peaceful village of Lumina, nestled between rolling hills and lush forests, there was a tale of an enchanted lantern. This lantern, said to be imbued with magical light, was rumored to grant a single wish to anyone who found it. The lantern had been lost for many years, and the villagers had long forgotten its whereabouts. In Lumina, there lived a young boy named Finn. Finn was known for his adventurous spirit and his kind heart. He loved exploring the forests, helping his neighbors, and dreaming of grand quests. His parents, though modest, had always encouraged his curiosity and compassion. One winter evening, as the first snowflakes of the season began to fall, Finn's grandmother fell ill with a mysterious illness that no healer could cure. The village doctor did his best, but nothing seemed to help. Desperate to save his beloved grandmother, Finn remembered the story of the enchanted lantern. He decided to set out on a quest to find it, hoping its magic could bring her back to health. With a small backpack filled with supplies, a warm scarf, and a map of the old forest that he had found in his grandmother's attic, Finn ventured into the woods. The forest was beautiful in winter, with snow-covered branches and a serene silence. As Finn walked, he followed the clues from the map, which led him deeper into the heart of the forest. After a few hours of walking, Finn arrived at a clearing where a beautiful, ancient oak tree stood. The tree was adorned with shimmering icicles and glowing lanterns hanging from its branches. At the base of the tree was a small, wooden door, almost hidden by snow. With a deep breath, Finn opened the door and found himself in a cozy, dimly lit room. The room was filled with old, dusty books and glowing crystals. In the center of the room stood a wise old fox named Elara, who had been waiting for him. "Welcome, young seeker," Elara said with a gentle voice. "I am the guardian of the enchanted lantern. To prove your worthiness, you must first complete 3 tasks that test your courage, wisdom, and kindness." Finn nodded eagerly, ready to face the challenges ahead. Elara explained the first task, the trial of courage. Finn had to cross the frozen lake, which was said to be haunted by an ancient spirit. The spirit was known to scare away intruders with illusions and cold winds. Finn approached the lake, where a thick mist hovered over the surface. As he stepped onto the ice, he felt a chill and heard eerie whispers. The mist formed shadowy figures that seemed to reach out for him. Finn, however, focused on his goal and kept moving forward with determination. He remembered his grandmother's encouraging words in his own courage, and with each step, the shadows and mist began to dissipate. When he reached the other side of the lake, he found a small, glowing crystal embedded in the ice. He picked it up, and the spirit of the lake appeared, a shimmering figure of light. "You have shown true courage," the spirit said. "The path is now open." Elara then led Finn to the second task, the trial of wisdom. Finn had to solve a riddle that was inscribed on an ancient stone tablet. The riddle was, "I can be cracked, made, told, and played. What am I?" Finn thought carefully and remembered the stories and puzzles he had learned as a child. After a moment, he answered, "A joke." The stone tablet glowed brightly, and a secret door opened, revealing a path to the final trial. The third task was the trial of kindness. Finn found himself in a garden where a beautiful but tired flower was wilting. The flower's petals were drooping, and it seemed to be struggling to survive. Finn gently watered the flower and sang a soothing lullaby. As he cared for it with love and patience, the flower began to revive, its petals brightening and its fragrance filling the air. The garden bloomed with renewed life, and a gentle breeze carried a message from the flower: "You have demonstrated true kindness." With all three tasks completed, Ilara led Finn to a hidden chamber where the enchanted lantern was kept. The lantern was radiant, its light casting a warm glow across the room. Ilara handed it to Finn and said, "Your heart is pure, and you have earned the right to make your wish." Finn held the lantern close and thought about his grandmother. He made his wish, asking for her health to be restored and for happiness to return to his village. The lantern's light grew brighter, and a magical aura spread through the forest. When Finn returned to Lumina, he found that his grandmother had recovered and the village was thriving. The enchanted lantern's magic had not only healed his grandmother but also brought joy and prosperity to all. Finn's bravery, wisdom, and kindness were celebrated by everyone, and the tale of the enchanted lantern became a cherished story in Lumina. The lantern was placed in the village square, serving as a symbol of hope and the magic that resides in a kind and courageous heart. And so, Finn continued his life with the same adventurous spirit and compassion that had guided him on his quest, knowing that the true magic of the lantern was the power of love and selflessness. The end. Once upon a time, in a land where the skies were always blue and the meadows were filled with wildflowers, there lay the kingdom of Luminera. It was a realm of peace and prosperity, where magic was woven into the fabric of everyday life. At the heart of this kingdom was a village named Sunvale, known for its golden fields and the warmth of its people. In Sunvale lived a young girl named Lila. Lila was known throughout the village for her kindness and her curiosity about the world beyond the village borders. She lived with her father, a humble blacksmith, and her mother, a weaver of enchanting tapestries. Lila's favorite companion was her pet raven, Corvus, who was as curious as she was and often helped her discover hidden quarters of the village and the surrounding forest. One sunny morning, as Lila and Corvus explored the edge of the forest, they came across an old, weathered map half buried in the soil. The map depicted a path leading deep into the enchanted forest, a place whispered about in bedtime stories but rarely visited. At the center of the map was an illustration of a magnificent, glowing crystal known as the Heart of Luminera. Legend said that the Heart of Luminera was a source of immense magic and could grant a single wish to the one who found it. Excited by the discovery, Lila showed the map to her parents. Her mother, with a worried look, warned her of the dangers that lay within the enchanted forest. But her father, seeing the determination in Lila's eyes, gave her a small, sturdy dagger and a pouch of provisions. "You must be brave and wise, Lila," he said. "Remember, true courage is not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it." With Corvus perched on her shoulder, Lila set off on her adventure. The map led her through winding paths and over sparkling streams. As she ventured deeper into the forest, the trees grew taller and their leaves whispered secrets of old. Soon, she arrived at the first challenge, a vast, shimmering lake with no visible way to cross it. Suddenly, a graceful swan emerged from the reeds. "To cross the lake, you must answer my riddle," the swan said. "What has keys but can't open locks, has space but no room, and can enter but not go outside?" Lila thought for a moment, then smiled. "A keyboard," she replied confidently. The swan nodded, and a bridge of light appeared across the lake. Lila and Corvus crossed safely and continued their journey. They soon reached a dense part of the forest where the sunlight barely reached the ground. In the midst of the darkness, they encountered a wise old owl sitting on a low branch. "To proceed, you must show your wisdom," the owl hooted. "Tell me, what is always in front of you but can't be seen?" Lila pondered the question, then said, "The future." The owl flapped its wings in approval, and a narrow path led up, guiding them through the dark woods. As they followed the path, they reached a meadow filled with colorful flowers. In the center of the meadow was a beautiful, but sorrowful, unicorn with a broken horn. The unicorn spoke, its voice soft and melodic. "To find the Heart of Luminera, you must demonstrate compassion. My horn is broken, and I cannot heal without it." Moved by the unicorn's plight, Lila took out her father's dagger and carefully crafted a splint for the broken horn using sturdy branches and her mother's woven fabric. The unicorn's horn began to glow and then magically mended itself. "You have shown great compassion," the unicorn said, now radiant with health. "Climb onto my back, and I will take you to the heart of Luminera." Lila and Corvus climbed onto the unicorn, and in a flash of light, they were transported to a hidden glade where the heart of Luminera rested on a pedestal of crystal. The heart was even more magnificent than the stories had described, glowing with an ethereal light that filled the glade with warmth and magic. As Lila approached the heart, a dark figure emerged from the shadows. It was the sorcerer Malachi, who had been searching for the heart of Luminera for his own nefarious purposes. "That heart belongs to me," he snarled. Lila stood her ground, her hand gripping the dagger's hilt. "The heart of Luminera belongs to all who seek it with a pure heart," she declared. Malachi laughed, but before he could cast a spell, Corvus swooped down and pecked at his eyes, causing him to stumble backward. Lila seized the moment and touched the heart, making her wish, "I wish for the power to protect my kingdom from all harm." The heart of Luminera glowed even brighter, and a wave of magic spread throughout the forest, banishing Malachi and healing the land. The heart then transformed into a beautiful necklace, which Lila placed around her neck. With the heart's magic now protecting Luminera, Lila returned to Sunvale, greeted by cheers and celebrations. Her bravery and compassion had saved the kingdom, and she was hailed as a hero. From that day on, Lila continued to explore and protect her kingdom, always guided by the lessons she had learned. The story of her journey and the heart of Luminera became a legend, inspiring generations to come. And so, the kingdom of Luminera lived happily ever after, flourishing under the watchful eye of their brave young hero. Once upon a time, in a quaint village surrounded by rolling hills and lush meadows, there was a mysterious shop run by an elderly woman named Esme. Her shop was filled with curious artifacts and enchanted objects, but the most intriguing item was an old brass compass that never seemed to point north. One sunny morning, a brave young boy named Oliver wandered into Esme's shop. Oliver had always been fascinated by tales of adventure and longed to discover the world beyond his village. As he browsed the shelves, the compass caught his eye. Its intricate design and strange, shifting needle seemed to beckon him. Esme noticed Oliver's interest and approached him with a twinkle in her eye. "Ah, you found the enchanted compass," she said. "This compass doesn't point north. Instead, it points to what you seek most deeply in your heart." Oliver's eyes widened with excitement. "What does it point to?" Esme smiled warmly. "Only you can find out. But remember, the journey it leads you on may be full of unexpected challenges and wonders." With a determined heart, Oliver took the compass and set out on his adventure. As he walked through the meadows and forests, he noticed the compass needle spinning in different directions before finally settling on a path leading towards the Misty Mountains. The Misty Mountains were known for their swirling fogs and hidden secrets. Undeterred, Oliver followed the compass's guidance. As he climbed higher, the fog grew thicker, and the path became more treacherous. Yet, the compass's needle continued to point forward, guiding him through the mist. At the edge of a cliff, Oliver found a hidden cave entrance partially obscured by a cascade of ivy. He carefully entered the cave, which was dimly lit by a soft, golden glow emanating from the walls. Inside, he discovered a large, ancient book resting on a pedestal. The book's cover was adorned with a shimmering emblem, a tree with roots and branches stretching out in all directions. Oliver opened the book and found it filled with tales of lost realms, enchanted creatures, and hidden treasures. Each page seemed to come alive with illustrations and magic. As Oliver read, he realized that the book was a guide to a secret world, one that had been lost to time. It spoke of a realm where the land was lush and vibrant, and its people were guardians of magic and wonder. The book revealed that the compass had led him to this ancient knowledge because he possessed the heart of a true adventurer. Just then, a soft voice echoed through the cave. "You have discovered the Book of Realms, young adventurer. The knowledge within can restore the magic that has been lost." The voice belonged to an ethereal figure, an ancient guardian of the realms, who appeared as a shimmering being of light. "The realms have been waiting for someone with a brave heart and a curious mind to help rekindle their magic. Your journey has only just begun." With the guardian's guidance, Oliver learned that he needed to gather 3 magical artifacts to restore the balance of the realms: the Crystal of Harmony, the feather of the phoenix, and the tear of the moon. Each artifact was hidden in a different corner of the world, and the compass would help him find them. The first destination was the Valley of Harmony, where the Crystal of Harmony was hidden. The valley was filled with beautiful, harmonious sounds created by the wind passing through enchanted chimes. Oliver followed the compass to a hidden grotto where he found the crystal, glowing with a soothing light. Next, Oliver journeyed to the volcano of the Phoenix, where the feather of the phoenix was said to be. The volcano was active and full of lava flows, but Oliver carefully navigated the terrain and discovered the feather nestled within a fiery cavern, its warmth embracing him. The final quest took Oliver to the moonlit lake, where the tear of the moon was hidden. The lake was illuminated by the moon's gentle light, and Oliver found the tear resting on a lotus blossom in the center of the lake, its soft glow reflecting the moon's beauty. With all three artifacts in hand, Oliver returned to the cave. The Book of Realms guided him in arranging the artifacts in a specific pattern, which triggered a surge of magical energy. The realms began to glow and shimmer, their lost magic being restored. The Guardian appeared once more, grateful for Oliver's bravery and perseverance. You have not only discovered the secrets of the realms but have also shown the true spirit of an adventurer. The world will now be enriched with the magic and wonder that you have restored. As a reward, the Guardian gifted Oliver a small, enchanted pendant that would forever guide him on his future adventures. Oliver returned to his village, where he shared his incredible journey with the villagers. His tales inspired others to seek their own adventures and explore the wonders of the world. And so, Oliver's journey became a cherished legend, and the enchanted compass found a new place of honor in Esme's shop, awaiting the next brave soul ready to discover its magic. The end. In a peaceful village surrounded by lush forests and sparkling streams, there was a quaint little shop known for its unique and magical items. The shop was run by an elderly woman named Granny Aloan, who was renowned for her knowledge of enchanted artifacts and her warm, caring nature. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the first stars began to twinkle, a young boy named Leo entered Granny Aloan's shop. Leo was a dreamer with a heart full of wonder and curiosity. He had heard tales of a mysterious lantern that could grant one wish to the person who found it. Granny Aloan greeted Leo with a kind smile. "Good evening, young Leo. What brings you here on this fine night?" Leo's eyes sparkled with excitement. "I've heard about the enchanted lantern that can grant a wish. I want to find it and see if the stories are true." Granny Aloan's eyes twinkled with a knowing glint. "Ah, the enchanted lantern. It is a very special item indeed. But finding it is not so simple. It requires a pure heart and a willingness to help others." Leo's heart swelled with determination. "I'm ready to do whatever it takes. I want to help my village and make it a better place." Granny Aloan nodded approvingly and handed Leo a small, leather-bound book. "This book contains clues that will guide you to the lantern. Remember, it is not the wish itself but the journey and the kindness you show along the way that truly matters." Leo took the book and set off into the forest. The moon was full, casting a silvery glow over the trees. As he walked, he read the first clue from the book: to find the lantern, follow the path of the moonlight and listen to the whispers of the night. Leo followed the moonlit path, and soon he heard a faint, melodic whisper. It led him to a clearing where a family of deer was struggling to find food. Their meadow had been overtaken by thick brambles. Without hesitation, Leo used his small pocket knife to carefully clear the brambles and make a safe path for the deer. The grateful animals nuzzled him before disappearing into the forest. As Leo returned to the path, he found the next clue in the book: the lantern lies where the stars kiss the earth. Leo continued his journey, guided by the shimmering starlight. He arrived at a serene pond, its surface reflecting the starry sky like a mirror. Next to the pond, Leo found an injured fox caught in a net. The fox's eyes were filled with pain and fear. Leo gently freed the fox from the net and tended to its wounds with some herbs he had in his satchel. The fox gave a soft, thankful yip before limping away into the forest. As Leo watched it disappear, he noticed a hidden compartment in a nearby tree. Inside, there was another clue: the final test is one of the heart. Seek where the light meets the dark. Leo followed the clue to a shadowy grove where the moonlight barely reached. There, in a small, hidden alcove, he found a beautiful, ornate lantern glowing softly with a warm, golden light. Leo picked up the lantern, feeling a sense of awe and accomplishment. As he held it, the lantern's light brightened, and a gentle, ethereal voice spoke, "You have shown great kindness and selflessness on your journey. The wish you seek will be granted, but remember, it is not for you alone." Leo thought of his village and how much they needed help. With a heartfelt wish, he said, "I wish for my village to be filled with happiness and prosperity, and for everyone to work together in harmony." The lantern's light expanded and enveloped Leo in a shimmering glow. He felt a warmth spread through him, and then, just as suddenly, the light vanished. Leo returned to his village with the lantern in hand. The next day, the village experienced a miraculous transformation. The crops grew abundantly, the streams were clear and full, and a sense of joy and cooperation filled the air. The villagers were amazed and grateful, and they celebrated together, rejoicing in their newfound prosperity. Leo's selfless wish had brought true magic to his village. Granny Aloan, watching from her shop, smiled with pride. The enchanted lantern had fulfilled its purpose, not just by granting a wish but by inspiring kindness and unity. And so, the village thrived, and the tale of Leo's journey and the enchanted lantern became a cherished story passed down through generations, reminding everyone of the power of selflessness and the magic that lies in a pure heart. The end. Once upon a time, in a small village nestled at the edge of a mystical forest, there was a tale about an enchanted lantern. This lantern, made of delicate silver and adorned with glowing gems, was said to have the power to grant one wish to anyone who found it. However, it could only be found by someone with a pure heart. In this village lived a kind-hearted boy named Finn. He was known for his generosity and bravery. One evening, as the sun set behind the forest, casting a golden hue over the land, Finn heard a whispering breeze that spoke of the enchanted lantern. Excited by the tale, Finn decided to seek out this magical object, hoping to use its power to help others. With a small satchel of provisions, Finn set out into the forest. The trees were tall and ancient, their branches creating a canopy that allowed only slivers of sunlight to filter through. As he ventured deeper, he encountered a wise old owl perched on a branch. "Greetings, young Finn," the owl hooted softly. "What brings you to this enchanted forest?" Finn bowed respectfully. "I seek the enchanted lantern that is said to grant one wish. I wish to use its power to bring happiness to my village." The owl's eyes twinkled. "A noble quest. To find the lantern, you must first solve 3 challenges that test your heart." With a nod, Finn followed the owl's instructions and soon arrived at a serene glade. There, a sparkling stream flowed gently, and beside it stood a large, ancient tree with a face carved into its trunk. "Welcome, Finn," the tree rumbled. "To proceed, you must solve my riddle. I have keys, but open no locks. I have space, but no room. You can enter, but not go outside." "What am I?" Finn thought hard and then smiled. "A piano." The tree's face smiled back. "Well done. You may continue." As Finn walked further, he came across a meadow filled with flowers of every color. Among them was a small, golden chest guarded by a mischievous squirrel. To open this chest, the squirrel said, "You must solve my riddle. I can be crabbed, made, told, and played." "What am I?" Finn thought for a moment and then answered, "A joke." The squirrel nodded and handed Finn a small, silver key. "You are on the right path. Use this key wisely." Finn thanked the squirrel and continued on his journey. Eventually, he arrived at a serene, moonlit pond. At its center was a floating lily pad with a glowing lantern resting upon it. However, the lantern was surrounded by a circle of enchanted mist. Suddenly, a beautiful fairy appeared. To take the lantern, you must answer one final question. What is the most valuable thing you can give to someone? Finn thought about his family, friends, and the village he loved. "The most valuable thing you can give is love," he said with conviction. The fairy smiled warmly. You have answered truly. The lantern is yours. Finn carefully took the lantern from the lily pad. As he held it, the glowing gems twinkled brightly, casting a warm light that filled the forest. Finn made his way back to the village, the lantern's light guiding him through the dark forest. Upon returning, Finn gathered the villagers and held up the lantern. With this lantern, I wish for our village to be filled with joy, harmony, and prosperity. As he spoke, the lantern's light spread across the village, touching every home and heart. The once quiet village came alive with laughter, music, and a sense of community. Gardens bloomed with vibrant flowers, and the fields yielded abundant harvests. The villagers were happier than ever, and Finn's selfless wish brought prosperity and peace to the land. From that day on, the enchanted lantern remained a symbol of kindness and the magic that comes from a pure heart. And though the lantern's light eventually dimmed, the warmth it brought to the village never faded. Finn's tale became a cherished story, reminding everyone that the greatest magic of all comes from giving with love and having a heart full of generosity. Once upon a time, in a land far beyond the mountains and across the shimmering sea, there was a forgotten kingdom named Eärendil. Eärendil had once been a place of great beauty and joy, where the sun shone warmly on the fields, and the rivers sparkled with crystal-clear water. But over the years, the kingdom had fallen into ruin. The sky had turned gray, the rivers had dried up, and the once happy people had become sad and weary. No one knew why this had happened, but they spoke of a curse that had befallen the land. In a small, hidden village at the edge of Eärendil lived a young girl named Maren. Maren was different from the other villagers. While they had given up hope, she believed that the kingdom could be restored. She had heard whispers of an ancient prophecy that spoke of a hero who would break the curse and bring Eärendil back to life. The prophecy told of the Heart of the Sun, a magical gem hidden deep within the Cavern of Echoes, said to have the power to restore the kingdom. One day, as Maren walked through the forest near her village, she came across an old, weathered book half buried beneath the roots of a tree. The book was filled with stories of Eärendil's past and mentioned the Heart of the Sun. It also contained a map showing the way to the Cavern of Echoes. Determined to save her kingdom, Maren decided to set out on a journey to find the Heart of the Sun. Her loyal companion, a small and clever squirrel named Pippin, insisted on joining her. Together, they packed a small bag of supplies and set off on their adventure, guided by the map and Maren's unwavering belief in the prophecy. Their journey took them through the forest of whispers, where the trees seemed to speak in hushed tones. The first challenge they faced was the Bridge of Mists. This bridge spanned a deep chasm and was shrouded in thick mist, making it impossible to see the other side. To cross, Maren needed to have faith in her heart and trust in the path ahead. With Pippin by her side, Maren stepped onto the bridge. Each step was filled with uncertainty, but she kept moving forward, holding tightly to her belief that she would find the Heart of the Sun. Slowly, the mist began to clear, and they made it safely across. Next, they reached the Valley of Shadows, a dark and eerie place where the shadows seemed to come to life. The valley was guarded by a mysterious figure, the Shadow Keeper, who asked Maren a riddle. I am always hungry, I must always be fed. The finger I touch will soon turn red. What am I? Maren thought carefully and then answered, Fire. The Shadow Keeper nodded and allowed them to pass, revealing the entrance to the Cavern of Echoes. The Cavern of Echoes was a vast, underground chamber filled with glistening crystals that reflected the faintest light. Every sound they made echoed through the cavern, creating a symphony of whispers and songs. At the center of the cavern, surrounded by a shimmering pool of water, was the Heart of the Sun. The gem was golden and warm, glowing with the light of 1,000 sunsets. But as Maren reached out to take the Heart of the Sun, a deep voice echoed through the cavern. It was the voice of the ancient guardian of the gem, a wise and powerful dragon named Solara. Why do you seek the Heart of the Sun? Solara asked, her voice gentle but commanding. Maren stepped forward, her voice steady. I seek it not for myself, but for my kingdom. Eärendil has fallen into ruin, and the people have lost all hope. I believe that the Heart of the Sun can restore the land and bring back the light. Solara regarded Maren with wise, golden eyes. The heart of the sun is powerful, but it is not the gem alone that can restore Eärendil. It is the courage, hope, and love in the heart of those who seek it. Do you have these within you? Without hesitation, Maren nodded. Yes, I do. I love my kingdom, and I will do anything to save it. Moved by her sincerity, Solara lowered her head, allowing Maren to take the heart of the sun. As she did, the cavern filled with a brilliant, golden light, and the echoes transformed into a melody of hope. Maren and Pippin made their way back to Eärendil, carrying the heart of the sun with them. As they entered the kingdom, the sky began to clear, and the rivers began to flow once more. The land that had been barren and gray was now lush and green, filled with the colors of flowers and the songs of birds. The people of Eärendil emerged from their homes, their faces filled with joy and wonder as they witnessed the miraculous transformation. With the heart of the sun placed in the center of the kingdom, its light spread throughout the land, lifting the curse and restoring Eärendil to its former glory. The people rejoiced, and Maren was celebrated as the hero who had saved the kingdom. But she knew that it was not just the gem that had brought about this change, it was the love, courage, and hope that had guided her on her journey. And so, Eärendil flourished once more, a kingdom bathed in the warm, golden light of the heart of the sun. The tale of Maren and her brave quest was passed down through generations, a reminder that even in the darkest times, hope and love can bring light to the world. The end. In a quaint kingdom nestled between rolling hills and ancient forests, there was a small village named Eldoria. This village was renowned for its beauty, with its flower-filled meadows and crystal-clear streams. But the villagers knew of something even more special. Each night, a single star, the hidden star, would shine brightly in the sky, guiding lost travelers home. The star was said to hold magical powers, but no one knew its true origin. In this village lived a curious young boy named Leo. He had a mop of unruly hair and a heart full of adventure. Every evening, he would gaze up at the hidden star and dream of discovering its secrets. The villagers told tales of how the star had once been a guiding light for their ancestors, but its magic had faded over time. One autumn evening, when the moon was full and the air crisp, Leo decided that he would uncover the mystery of the hidden star. He packed a small bag with supplies, a loaf of bread, a flask of water, and a warm cloak, and set off towards the edge of the forest, where it was rumored the star's magic was strongest. As he ventured deeper into the woods, the trees grew taller and the shadows longer. The path became faint, but Leo pressed on, guided by the light of the hidden star. He walked until he reached a clearing with an enormous, ancient oak tree at its center. The tree's branches reached high into the sky, almost as if trying to touch the star itself. Leo rested beneath the oak, staring up at the star that seemed to twinkle more brightly than usual. Just as he was about to fall asleep, a gentle voice spoke from the tree. "You seek the hidden star, young one?" Startled, Leo looked around and saw a figure emerging from the oak, a wise old man with a long, silver beard and a robe that shimmered with the colors of the night sky. He was the Star Keeper, a guardian of the hidden star's magic. "Yes," Leo said, finding his voice. "I want to understand the star's secret and restore its magic to help our village." The Star Keeper's eyes twinkled with approval. "A noble quest indeed. But the star's magic lies not just in its light but in the heart of the one who seeks it." The Star Keeper extended his hand, and a small, glowing orb appeared. "This is the Heartstone. It holds the essence of the star's magic. To restore the star, you must place the Heartstone in the highest branch of this tree before the next dawn." Leo accepted the Heartstone, feeling its warmth in his hands. He climbed the ancient oak, carefully navigating the gnarled branches. As he neared the top, the wind picked up, making the task more challenging. But Leo's determination never wavered. He reached the highest branch and placed the Heartstone gently. As soon as the Heartstone touched the branch, the star's light intensified, sending a beam of pure silver light down to the clearing. The ancient oak began to shimmer, and the surrounding forest was bathed in a soft, magical glow. The Star Keeper appeared beside Leo. "You have done it, young Leo. You have restored the star's magic. Not only with the Heartstone but with your courage and pure heart. The light from the star grew brighter and brighter until it enveloped Leo in a warm embrace. He felt a sense of peace and fulfillment. The Starkeeper smiled. The hidden star will now shine more brightly than ever, and its magic will guide and protect your village. As dawn approached, the star's light gradually faded, but the forest remained filled with a gentle, magical glow. Leo descended from the oak, his heart light and full of joy. He returned to Eldoria, where the villagers marveled at the renewed brilliance of the hidden star in the sky. From that day on, the hidden star shone with a radiance that lit up the night and brought hope to all who looked up. Leo's bravery and kindness became legendary, and the village thrived under the star's renewed magic. Every night, as the star's light danced across the sky, the villagers would remember the tale of the boy who restored the star's magic and the heart that made it all possible. The moonlit well in a quaint village nestled at the edge of a mystical forest, there was a well known as the Moonlit Well. This well was no ordinary one, it was said to be enchanted by the moonlight that touched its waters, making it sparkle with a soft, ethereal glow. The villagers believed that the well could grant one true wish to anyone with a pure heart. Among the villagers was a young boy named Elias. Elias was kind-hearted and always dreamed of making his village a better place. His village had been facing a long drought, and the once lush fields were now dry and barren. Elias decided that he would use the well's magic to wish for rain to restore his village's prosperity. The quest for the moonlit well. One evening, under a silver moon, Elias set out for the moonlit well. Guided by the moonlight, he ventured into the forest. The forest was alive with magic, fireflies danced in the air, and the trees whispered ancient songs. As he journeyed deeper into the forest, Elias encountered three magical creatures. The first was a wise old tortoise named Tiberius, who spoke in riddles. The second was a graceful deer named Seraphina, whose eyes shone with kindness. The third was a playful fox named Finn, who loved to play tricks but had a heart of gold. Each creature offered Elias a piece of advice. Tiberius warned him to be cautious of his own desires, Seraphina encouraged him to listen to his heart, and Finn told him to remember that true magic comes from within. The enchanted pool. After days of traveling, Elias finally reached the moonlit well. The well was more beautiful than he had imagined, with water that shimmered like liquid moonlight. Elias took a deep breath and made his wish, "I wish for rain to restore our village and bring life back to our fields." As soon as Elias made his wish, the waters of the well began to swirl and glow brighter. But instead of a simple answer, a mystical figure appeared, a shimmering moon spirit named Lenara. Lenara spoke with a voice like a gentle breeze, "Your heart is pure, and your wish is noble. But true magic requires more than a wish, it requires action and sacrifice." The test of the heart. Lenara explained that Elias must complete 3 tasks to prove the sincerity of his wish. The first task was to find and bring back a single moonflower from the heart of the forest. The moonflower only bloomed under the full moon and was said to possess great magic. The second task was to mend a broken wing of a celestial bird that had fallen from the sky. The bird's song was essential for calling the rain, and without it, the magic could not be complete. The third task was to share his last piece of bread with a starving traveler who had lost their way in the forest. This act of kindness would demonstrate Elias's selflessness. The journey of challenges. Elias accepted the challenges with determination. Guided by the moonlight, he found the moonflower blooming in a hidden grove. He carefully picked it, ensuring not to damage its delicate petals. Next, Elias found the celestial bird with a broken wing nestled in a grove of ancient trees. He gently tended to its injury, using herbs and bandages he had learned about from the village healer. The bird's wing was soon healed, and it sang a beautiful, melodious song that filled the forest with hope. Finally, Elias came across a weary traveler. Without hesitation, he offered the traveler his last piece of bread and shared stories to comfort them. The traveler, grateful for Elias's kindness, revealed that they were a wise sage who had been testing Elias's heart. The fulfillment of the wish. With the tasks completed, Lenara reappeared. She was moved by Elias's actions and the purity of his heart. As a reward, Lenara used her moonlight magic to summon rain clouds. The rain began to fall, gently at first, then pouring down in a nourishing torrent. The fields of Elias's village began to bloom, and life returned to the land. Elias returned to his village as a hero, celebrated for his bravery and kindness. The villagers rejoiced as their crops flourished and their wells filled with fresh water. The story of Elias's journey and the moonlit well became a cherished legend, a testament to the power of selflessness and the magic that lies within the heart of those who care deeply for others. And so, the village thrived under the gentle rain and the light of the moon, forever guided by the spirit of the moonlit well and the heroism of a young boy named Elias. Once upon a time, in a village nestled between rolling hills and whispering forests, there lived a young girl named Elara. She was known throughout the village for her kindness and curiosity. Her most treasured possession was an old lantern that had been passed down through her family for generations. It was said that the lantern had magical properties, but no one knew for sure. One crisp autumn evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and painted the sky in hues of orange and pink, Elara decided to take a walk into the forest. She carried the lantern with her, hoping its soft glow would guide her through the twilight. As she ventured deeper into the woods, the trees seemed to lean in closer, their leaves rustling softly as if whispering secrets. Suddenly, the lantern's light flickered and shone brighter than usual. Elara followed the illuminated path and soon came upon a clearing she had never seen before. In the center of the clearing stood a grand oak tree, its trunk wide and gnarled, with branches that stretched towards the sky like ancient arms. Beneath the tree was a small, ornate door, barely visible among the roots. The door was covered in delicate carvings of stars and moons, and at its center was a shimmering keyhole. Elara's heart raced with excitement. She took the key from her lantern and, though it was not a perfect fit, she felt compelled to try it. She inserted the key into the keyhole, and with a gentle turn, the door creaked open. Beyond the door lay a hidden realm, a magical world bathed in a soft, golden light. As Elara stepped through, she found herself in a breathtaking meadow filled with flowers that seemed to sing and dance in the gentle breeze. In the distance, she saw a majestic castle made of crystal, its spires reaching up like delicate icicles. Before she could take another step, a figure appeared from behind a flowering hedge. It was a small, graceful fairy with shimmering wings and a crown of daisies. The fairy's name was Lyra, and she greeted Elara with a warm smile. "Welcome, Elara," Lyra said in a voice that tinkled like chimes. "I am the guardian of the enchanted realm. We've been expecting you." Elara's eyes widened in wonder. "Me? But why?" Lyra's smile grew brighter. "Long ago, your ancestors helped to protect this realm from darkness. Now, the magic that binds our world is waning, and we need your help to restore it." Lyra explained that the source of the realm's magic was a beautiful, ancient tree known as the Heartwood Tree. It was located deep within the castle, but a powerful enchantment had trapped its magic. To break the enchantment, they needed a pure heart and the light of the lantern. Elara nodded, determined to help. With Lyra leading the way, they journeyed through the meadow, their path illuminated by the lantern's glow. They reached the castle and entered its gleaming halls. At the very heart of the castle stood the Heartwood Tree, its branches twisted and darkened, and its leaves lifeless. Lyra instructed Elara to hold the lantern high. As Elara did, the lantern's light began to pulse and swirl, casting a brilliant radiance over the Heartwood Tree. The tree's bark started to glow, and slowly, its leaves regained their vibrant hues. The enchantment was lifting, and the Heartwood Tree began to flourish once more. A warm breeze swept through the castle, and the once-dim realm sparkled with renewed vitality. The flowers sang even more joyfully, and the crystal castle shimmered with 1,000 colors. The magic was restored, and the realm was vibrant and alive again. Lyra beamed at Elara. "You've done it. You've saved our world. Thank you." Elara felt a deep sense of fulfillment and happiness. She knew that she had been part of something truly magical. As a token of their gratitude, Lyra handed Elara a small, glowing gem. "This is a piece of our magic," she explained. Whenever you need guidance or strength, it will light your path. With a final farewell, Alara returned to the village, her heart full of wonder and gratitude. The lantern had led her on an extraordinary adventure, and she knew she would always cherish the memory. From that day on, whenever the villagers asked about the lantern's magic, Alara would smile and say, "Sometimes, the greatest magic is found in the courage to follow your heart." And so, the enchanted lantern continued to glow softly in Alara's home, a reminder of the incredible journey she had once taken and the magic that lay just beyond the ordinary world. And they all lived happily ever after. Once upon a time, in a tranquil village nestled between rolling hills and shimmering lakes, there was a magnificent old willow tree known as the Whispering Willow. The tree was ancient, with branches that reached out like comforting arms and leaves that rustled softly in the wind. The villagers believed that the Whispering Willow held the secrets of the world and that it could speak to those with kind hearts. In this village lived a young girl named Lily. Lily was known for her gentle nature and her love for the forest. She often visited the Whispering Willow to talk to it, sharing her dreams and listening to the gentle whispers of the wind through its branches. One day, a great sadness fell over the village. The river that provided them with fresh water had begun to dry up. Without the river, the crops withered, and the villagers grew worried. The village elders tried everything they could think of to restore the flow of the river, but nothing worked. Lily, heartbroken for her village, decided to visit the Whispering Willow once more. She approached the grand tree, feeling a deep sense of hope and sadness. "Whispering Willow," Lily said softly, "please, help us. Our river has dried up, and our village is suffering. Is there anything you can tell me to restore the water?" The willow's branches swayed gently, and Lily heard a soft, melodic voice whispering through the leaves. "To restore the river, you must find the heart of the spring. It is hidden deep within the enchanted cave, guarded by a magical creature. Only someone with a pure heart can retrieve it." Lily's eyes widened. She had heard stories of the enchanted cave but had never imagined she would venture there. But she knew she had to try for the sake of her village. She thanked the Whispering Willow and set out toward the cave. The journey to the enchanted cave was filled with challenges. Lily had to cross a bridge made of vines that swayed over a deep chasm. She used her courage and balance to carefully make her way across. Next, she navigated through a maze of tall, shimmering grass that seemed to move on its own. She trusted her instincts and followed a trail of glowing flowers that led her through the maze. Finally, Lily arrived at the entrance of the enchanted cave. It was dark and mysterious, but she stepped inside with determination. The cave was filled with sparkling crystals that lit the way, and the air was cool and damp. As she ventured deeper into the cave, she came upon a large chamber with a crystal-clear pool in the center. At the edge of the pool was a beautiful, glowing stone, the heart of the spring. But guarding it was a gentle-looking creature with shimmering wings and a silver mane. It was a water sprite, a guardian of the heart. The water sprite looked at Lily with curious, kind eyes. "Why have you come to seek the heart of the spring?" the sprite asked in a melodic voice. Lily took a deep breath. "My village is suffering. The river has dried up, and we need the heart of the spring to restore it. I have come to ask for your help." The sprite's eyes softened as it looked at Lily. "Many have come before you seeking the heart, but they were driven by greed or fear. You, however, have come out of love for your people. Your heart is pure. You may take the heart of the spring, but remember, it must be used with kindness and care." Lily thanked the sprite and carefully picked up the heart of the spring. It was warm and seemed to pulse with a gentle energy. She made her way back to the village, her heart full of hope. Upon her return, Lily placed the heart of the spring at the river's edge. As soon as she did, a brilliant light spread from the heart, and the river began to flow once more. The water sparkled and gushed, revitalizing the land and bringing joy back to the village. The villagers rejoiced and celebrated Lily's bravery and kindness. The river was restored, and the crops flourished once again. The Whispering Willow, watching from afar, rustled its branches in approval. From that day on, Lily was known not only for her love of the forest but for her courage and compassion. the village thrived, and the Whispering Willow remained a place of wisdom and wonder, its secrets and whispers guiding those who sought them with pure hearts. And so, the river flowed freely, the village prospered, and Lily's name was remembered as a symbol of hope and kindness for generations to come. The end. Once upon a time, in a land where the mountains kissed the sky and rivers sang lullabies, there was a small village named Luminera. Luminera was famous for its sparkling river, which was said to glow under the light of the full moon. This magical glow was due to a hidden bridge beneath the water, known as the Moonlit Bridge. The legend of the Moonlit Bridge told that it was built by an ancient and kind-hearted fairy queen who wished to create a path between the land of mortals and the realm of magic. The bridge would appear only on the night of the full moon and grant a single wish to anyone who found it. In this village lived a young girl named Ilara. Ilara was known for her boundless curiosity and love for adventures. One evening, as she looked up at the bright full moon, she remembered the old tales about the Moonlit Bridge. Her heart was filled with hope and excitement. "I wonder if the Moonlit Bridge is real," Ilara thought. "What if I could find it and make a wish for something wonderful for our village?" Determined to uncover the truth, Ilara decided to seek out the Moonlit Bridge. That night, under the light of the full moon, she set out towards the river. The moonlight cast a shimmering path across the water, and Ilara followed it, her heart pounding with anticipation. As she walked along the riverbank, she noticed that the water seemed to sparkle even more brightly than usual. Ilara's footsteps grew lighter as she approached a secluded part of the river. The air was filled with the sweet scent of blooming night flowers, and the soft sound of the river was soothing. Suddenly, the water began to ripple and glow with a soft, silver light. Ilara watched in awe as a beautiful bridge began to materialize beneath the surface of the river. It was made of moonlight and silver, its arches gleaming like stars. Ilara stepped cautiously onto the bridge. It felt as though she was walking on a path of dreams, with the moonlight guiding her steps. The bridge led her to a small island in the center of the river, where a magnificent tree stood. Its branches were adorned with glowing flowers, and its leaves shimmered like stars. At the base of the tree was a small, golden chest. Ilara approached the chest and carefully opened it. Inside, she found a delicate, silver vial filled with a sparkling liquid. Attached to the vial was a note written in elegant script, asterisk to the one who finds this vial, know that your heart's desire will be granted. But remember, true magic lies not in what you ask for, but in the kindness and love you share with others, asterisk. Ilara's eyes widened with wonder. She held the vial close to her heart, thinking about the wish she wanted to make for her village. She wanted to bring prosperity and happiness to the people she loved. With the vial in hand, Ilara made her way back to the village. The moonlit bridge faded from view as the sun began to rise, and Ilara returned home with a heart full of hope. The next day, Ilara gathered the villagers and told them about her adventure. She shared the story of the moonlit bridge and the message from the fairy queen. The villagers were amazed and excited by the possibility of a wish coming true. After much discussion, Ilara and the villagers decided to use the wish to build a community center where everyone could come together to share stories, learn new skills, and support each other. They believed that this would bring joy and unity to their village. With the help of the villagers, Ilara used the magic from the vial to start the construction of the community center. As they worked together, the village buzzed with energy and enthusiasm. The center was built with love and care, and it quickly became a place where people gathered to celebrate, learn, and help one another. The community center brought new life to the village. People came from near and far to see the beautiful building and to experience the warmth and joy that filled the air. Luminera thrived, and the villagers felt a deep sense of connection and happiness. Ilara often visited the community center, feeling proud of what they had accomplished together. She knew that the true magic of the moonlit bridge was not just in granting a wish, but in the power of coming together and sharing kindness and love. And so, the village of Luminera continued to shine brightly, guided by the lessons learned from the moonlit bridge. Ilara's adventure became a cherished story passed down through generations, reminding everyone that the greatest magic of all is found in the heart. The end. Once upon a time, in a kingdom surrounded by rolling hills and blooming meadows, there was a hidden garden known only to a few. This garden, known as the Enchanted Garden, was said to be filled with magical flowers that had the power to grant wishes. It was protected by a wise old fairy named Seraphina, who tended to the garden's wonders with great care. In a nearby village lived a young girl named Alina. Alina was kind and gentle, with a deep love for nature. She often dreamed of finding the enchanted garden, but it was said that only those with a true heart and a noble wish could enter. One day, as Alina was wandering through the forest collecting wildflowers, she stumbled upon a beautiful, silver key half buried in the soft earth. The key shimmered in the sunlight, and Alina felt a sense of wonder as she picked it up. As she examined the key, a soft voice whispered through the trees, "That key will lead you to the enchanted garden. But to enter, you must first prove your heart is true." Excited by the discovery, Alina followed the voice, which guided her deeper into the forest. After a while, she reached a hidden door covered in ivy and moss. With a trembling hand, Alina inserted the silver key into the lock and turned it. The door creaked open to reveal a breathtaking garden bathed in moonlight. The enchanted garden was more magnificent than Alina had ever imagined. Flowers of every color and shape glowed softly, and the air was filled with the sweet scent of blooming roses. At the center of the garden stood a single, moonlit rose on a pedestal. Its petals shimmered like silver, and its fragrance was enchanting. As Alina approached the rose, Seraphina, the wise old fairy, appeared in a swirl of sparkling light. "Welcome, Alina," Seraphina said with a warm smile. "You have shown great courage and kindness to find this place. What is your wish?" Alina thought carefully. She had always wanted to help her village, which had recently suffered from a long drought. The crops were failing, and the villagers were worried. With a determined heart, Alina said, "I wish for my village to have plenty of water and fertile land, so the crops can grow and the villagers can thrive." Seraphina nodded, her eyes twinkling with approval. "Your wish is noble and selfless. To grant it, we must first ask for the moon's blessing." With a wave of her wand, Seraphina summoned a gentle, glowing mist that surrounded the moonlit rose. The rose's petals opened, revealing a crystal at its center. The crystal began to glow brightly, and a soft, melodic hum filled the air. Alina watched in awe as the crystal's light grew stronger. The mist swirled around the garden, and the petals of the moonlit rose started to drift away like falling stars. The fairy's magic touched every corner of the garden, and the energy of the wish began to spread. "Now, we must send the magic to your village," Seraphina explained. "Hold the rose tightly and think of your village with all your heart." Alina carefully took the moonlit rose in her hands and closed her eyes. She imagined the fields filled with golden crops, the villagers smiling and working together, and the clear, flowing streams that would bring life to the land. As she focused on her wish, a brilliant beam of light shot from the rose, piercing the night sky. The light traveled across the land, reaching Alina's village. When the light touched the village, the skies opened up, and rain began to fall gently upon the parched earth. The fields soaked up the water, and the streams began to flow once more. When Alina returned to her village, she was greeted with cheers and tears of joy. The once dry fields were now lush and green, and the villagers rejoiced at the return of their water supply. The village was thriving, and Alina's selfless wish had brought hope and prosperity to everyone. Alina never forgot the enchanted garden and the moonlit rose that had made her wish come true. She continued to care for her village with the same kindness and love she had shown in her wish. And every night, she would look up at the moon, knowing that the magic of the enchanted garden was watching over her. As for the enchanted garden, it remained a place of wonder, waiting for the next kind-hearted soul to discover its secrets and make a wish with a true heart. And so, under the moonlit sky, Alina and her village lived happily ever after, their dreams blooming as brightly as the magical flowers in the enchanted garden. The end. Once upon a time, in a lush, green valley surrounded by towering mountains, there was a peaceful village named Everwood. The village was known for its vibrant meadows, enchanted forests, and a crystal-clear pond at its center, which was rumored to have magical properties. The pond was said to grant one wish every 100 years, but it had been centuries since anyone had made a wish or seen the magical results. In this village lived a clever and kind-hearted young girl named Eloan. Eloan loved exploring the forest and had a special bond with the animals that lived there. One sunny afternoon, while wandering near the crystal pond, Eloan spotted a beautiful silver fox with a bushy tail and shimmering fur. The fox had eyes as bright as sapphires and seemed to be searching for something. Intrigued, Eloan approached the fox. "Hello, friend," she said gently. "Can I help you with something?" The silver fox turned to her and spoke in a soft, melodic voice. "I am in search of the Moonstone, a gem of great power that was lost long ago. It is said that the Moonstone is hidden near this pond, and I need it to restore balance to the magical creatures of the forest." Eloan was fascinated and offered to help the silver fox in its quest. Together, they began searching the area around the pond. As they searched, the fox told Eloan about the Moonstone's history. It had once been a source of light and harmony, but it was stolen by a dark sorcerer who wished to use its power for evil. The sorcerer had hidden the Moonstone, and its absence had caused discord among the magical creatures. As they searched, Eloan noticed that the pond's water seemed to glow softly in the moonlight, and there was a gentle hum coming from beneath the surface. Guided by the light and the hum, she and the fox waded into the pond. Eloan reached into the water, feeling around until her fingers touched something smooth and cool. She pulled out a small, ornate box covered in ancient runes. The box was intricately carved with symbols of the moon and stars. With the fox's guidance, Eloan opened the box, revealing the Moonstone nestled inside. It was a gem of breathtaking beauty, radiating a soft, silvery light that seemed to dance with the reflection of the moon. The silver fox's eyes sparkled with joy. "You have found it. Now we must return it to the heart of the forest, where it belongs." Eloan and the silver fox journeyed deeper into the forest, guided by the light of the Moonstone. They passed through dense thickets and over sparkling streams, following a path that seemed to be illuminated by the gem's glow. Along the way, they encountered various magical creatures, talking birds, gentle deer, and mischievous fairies, all of whom thanked Eloan for finding the Moonstone. When they reached the heart of the forest, a sacred grove surrounded by ancient trees and shimmering flowers, the silver fox placed the Moonstone on a pedestal at the center of the grove. As the Moonstone was set in place, it released a brilliant burst of light that filled the entire grove with a warm, soothing glow. The balance was restored to the forest, and the magical creatures rejoiced. The trees seemed to hum with renewed vitality, and the flowers bloomed more brightly than ever. The silver fox turned to Eloan with gratitude in its eyes. "You have done a great deed. The Moonstone is where it belongs, and harmony has been restored." As a token of their thanks, the creatures of the forest presented Eloan with a small, delicate charm made from the petals of enchanted flowers. The charm glowed softly, a symbol of the magical bond she had formed with the forest. Eloan returned to Everwood, where she was welcomed as a hero. The village celebrated her bravery and kindness with a grand feast, and the crystal pond became a place of wonder and peace once more. The magical creatures of the forest continued to visit the village, sharing their stories and adding to the village's charm. The tale of Eloan and the silver fox became a cherished legend in Everwood, a story told to every child as a reminder of the power of courage, kindness, and the magic that exists in every corner of the world. And so, the valley thrived in harmony, with Eloan's heart forever connected to the enchanted forest and the shimmering Moonstone. Once upon a time, in the heart of the evergreen forest, there was a hidden village called Harmony Hollow. This village was renowned for its beautiful music, thanks to a magical harp that resided in the village square. The harp was said to have been crafted by the fairies themselves, and its music could soothe even the wildest of beasts and bring peace to the most troubled souls. The keeper of the harp was an elderly woman named Eloan. She had lived in Harmony Hollow for as long as anyone could remember and had a special bond with the harp. Every evening, she would play enchanting melodies that drifted through the forest, spreading calm and joy to all who heard it. One winter, a great storm swept through the land. The winds howled, the snow piled high, and the forest grew dark and foreboding. As the storm raged on, a dark shadow fell over Harmony Hollow, and the magical harp strings went silent. Elowen tried to play, but the harp refused to sing. The villagers grew anxious and disheartened, fearing that the magic of their beloved harp had been lost forever. One young girl, Lyra, who loved the harp more than anything, decided she must find out what had happened. She believed that the harp's silence was a sign of a greater problem and that she needed to help restore its magic. With a heart full of courage and hope, Lyra set out on a quest to discover the truth behind the harp's silence. Lyra journeyed deep into the forest, guided by the faint echoes of the harp's last psalm. As she walked, she encountered various creatures, squirrels, owls, and even a wise old deer, each of whom offered clues and advice. They all pointed her toward the Crystal Cavern, a mystical place rumored to hold ancient secrets and great power. The path to the Crystal Cavern was treacherous, with icy winds and towering snowdrifts. But Lyra pressed on, determined to help her village and the harp she cherished. After a long and arduous journey, she finally reached the entrance of the cavern. Inside, the cavern sparkled with crystals of every color, reflecting the faint light from Lyra's lantern. At the heart of the cavern, she discovered a grand, ancient tree with branches that glistened like diamonds. Beneath the tree lay a slumbering, silver dragon, its scales shimmering with a soft, ethereal light. The dragon awoke as Lyra approached, its eyes filled with both wisdom and sorrow. "Welcome, brave Lyra," the dragon said in a deep, melodic voice. "I am Draconis, the guardian of the Crystal Cavern. I have been waiting for someone with a pure heart to help restore balance to the forest." Lyra explained the plight of Harmony Hollow and the silence of the magical harp. Draconis listened intently and then spoke. "The storm that has befallen your village is the result of a curse placed upon the harp by a jealous sorcerer who sought to steal its magic. To break the curse, you must retrieve 3 magical items from the cavern." Draconis guided Lyra to 3 hidden locations within the cavern. 1. The luminous blossom *, a glowing flower that could only be found in the deepest part of the cavern. Lyra discovered it growing amidst a bed of shimmering stones, its petals radiating a soft, healing light. 2. The echoing shell *, a conch shell that held the power to amplify and restore lost magic. It was nestled among the crystal formations, its surface gleaming with a silvery sheen. 3. The eternal flame *, a small, enchanted flame that never extinguished. It was housed within a delicate crystal vial, glowing with an inner fire. With the 3 items in hand, Lyra returned to Harmony Hollow. The storm had worsened, and the village was on the brink of despair. But Lyra was determined to restore the harp's magic. She approached the silent harp with the luminous blossom, the echoing shell, and the eternal flame. As Lyra placed the items near the harp, the flower's glow began to merge with the harp's frame, the shell amplified the whispers of magic, and the flame sparked a renewed light within the harp strings. The harp trembled and then sang a powerful, melodious tune that filled the village with warmth and hope. The storm began to dissipate, and the clouds parted to reveal the sun. The villagers emerged from their homes, their faces lighting up with joy and relief as the harp's music filled the air once more. They gathered around Lyra, thanking her for her bravery and the restoration of their beloved harp. Elowen, moved by Lyra's courage, praised her as the true hero of Harmony Hollow. The harp resumed its role as the heart of the village, its music now more magical and enchanting than ever. The village thrived, and Lyra became a symbol of hope and perseverance. Once upon a time, in a quiet village nestled by the edge of a sparkling lake, there was a tale of a rare flower known as the moonflower. This flower was said to bloom only once every 100 years, on the night of the blue moon. Its petals were as white as snow, and its fragrance was said to bring clarity and peace to anyone who smelled it. The moonflower was said to possess magical properties, but no one had ever seen it, as it bloomed deep in the heart of the whispering forest. In this village lived a kind-hearted girl named Lyra. Lyra was known for her love of the forest and her deep connection with nature. She often helped the villagers with their crops and tended to the local wildlife. Despite her simple life, Lyra felt a deep yearning to find the moonflower and unlock its mysteries, believing it could bring great benefit to her village. One evening, as the blue moon rose high in the sky, casting a silvery glow over the landscape, Lyra made up her mind to venture into the Whispering Forest. She packed a small satchel with essentials, a lantern, some bread and cheese, and a warm cloak. The forest was known for its enchanting yet enigmatic nature, so Lyra prepared for an adventure. As she entered the forest, the trees seemed to whisper and sway with the wind, guiding her deeper into their midst. The moonlight filtered through the canopy, creating a magical, shimmering path. Lyra followed this path, her heart filled with hope and excitement. After some time, she came to a clearing where a large, ancient tree stood, its trunk covered in glowing moss. At the base of the tree was a small, intricately carved door. Lyra approached the door and noticed an inscription: "To find the moonflower, you must show the virtues of the heart. Help those in need, listen to the whispers of the forest, and the path will be revealed." Lyra nodded, understanding the task ahead. She continued through the forest, and soon she encountered a family of deer trapped in a thicket of brambles. With gentle hands and a soothing voice, Lyra carefully freed the deer, who looked at her with gratitude before bounding away. Next, she heard the cries of a wounded owl perched high in a tree. Climbing carefully, Lyra tended to the owl's injury and helped it return to its nest. The owl hooted in thanks, and its eyes sparkled with wisdom. Finally, Lyra came to a babbling brook where the water had grown muddy and still. She noticed that the brook was choked with debris and worked tirelessly to clear it, restoring the water's crystal clarity. As she worked, she heard the faintest whisper of gratitude from the forest itself. With her tasks complete, Lyra returned to the ancient tree and found that the door had opened slightly, revealing a hidden passage. She stepped through and found herself in a beautiful, moonlit glade. In the center of the glade was a single, radiant moonflower in full bloom, its petals glowing softly in the moonlight. Lyra approached the moonflower, mesmerized by its beauty and the calming aura it radiated. As she leaned in to inhale its fragrance, she felt a profound sense of peace and clarity. The moonlight seemed to dance around her, and she understood the true magic of the moonflower was not just in its appearance, but in the serenity it brought. With great reverence, Lyra picked a single petal from the moonflower and carefully placed it in a small, glass vial. She knew the flower's magic could bring much-needed peace and hope to her village. Returning home, Lyra was greeted with awe and gratitude. She used the moonflower's petal to create a calming elixir that brought comfort and clarity to the villagers. The elixir helped them find harmony in their lives, and the village flourished with newfound tranquility and happiness. The tale of Lyra and the moonflower became a cherished legend in the village, a reminder of the virtues of kindness, bravery, and listening to the whispers of the heart. The Whispering Forest remained a place of wonder and magic, where legends were born and hearts were healed. And so, Lyra's adventure with the moonflower became a beloved story, teaching that true magic is found in the virtues of the heart and the courage to help others. Once upon a time, in a land where the mountains kissed the clouds and rivers sparkled like diamonds, there was a peaceful kingdom named Eldoria. Eldoria was renowned for its lush meadows and crystal-clear lakes, but it was also famous for a mysterious legend, the tale of the Midnight Star. According to the legend, the Midnight Star was a magical gem that shone with the light of the moon. It was said to grant a single wish to anyone who could find it. However, the Midnight Star had been hidden away for centuries, lost in the depths of the enchanted cavern, which was said to be guarded by powerful enchantments and mystical creatures. In the heart of Eldoria lived a brave young girl named Lila. Lila had always been curious about the legends of her land and had a heart full of dreams. Her greatest wish was to help her village, which had been struggling with a long drought. The rivers had dried up, and the fields were parched. Desperate to restore life to her home, Lila decided to seek out the Midnight Star. One crisp morning, with a small satchel of supplies and a heart full of hope, Lila set off towards the enchanted cavern. As she approached the cavern's entrance, a cool mist surrounded her, and the air crackled with magic. The entrance was framed by ancient, twisting vines and guarded by a talking raven named Corvus. "Greetings, traveler," croaked Corvus. "What brings you to the enchanted cavern?" "I seek the Midnight Star," Lila replied, her voice steady. My village is suffering, and I wish to help them. Corvus tilted his head, his eyes gleaming with intrigue. To find the Midnight Star, you must pass 3 trials. Are you prepared? Lila nodded resolutely. I am ready. The first trial was a vast, labyrinthine garden filled with towering hedges and blooming flowers. Each step she took seemed to lead her in circles. Lila remembered a lesson her grandmother had taught her about listening to the whispers of nature. She closed her eyes and listened carefully. The flowers hummed a gentle melody, guiding her towards the heart of the garden. Following the song, Lila found her way through the maze and emerged into a serene clearing. The second trial was a chasm spanned by a narrow, swaying bridge made of glowing moonlight. Below, the abyss was filled with swirling mist. As Lila stepped onto the bridge, it began to sway dangerously. Her heart raced, but she remembered her grandmother's stories about the strength of the moonlight. Focusing on the light's calming glow, she carefully and steadily crossed the bridge, reaching the other side safely. The final trial was the most daunting. Lila found herself in a cavern where the walls shimmered with 1,000 sparkling gems. In the center of the cavern was a pedestal holding the Midnight Star, but it was surrounded by a circle of shadowy fog. From the fog emerged a guardian spirit, a majestic creature with shimmering wings and a stern gaze. To claim the Midnight Star, the guardian spirit intoned, "You must prove your heart's true worth. Show me that you are selfless and pure." Lila thought deeply about what the village needed most. She knew that finding the Midnight Star for her own gain was not enough. With a deep breath, she spoke, "I seek the Midnight Star not for myself, but for my village. I wish to bring back the life and joy that has been lost to the drought. If this star can restore my home, then it should be used for that purpose." The guardian spirit's eyes softened, and the shadowy fog began to lift. The Midnight Star glowed even brighter, illuminating the cavern with its gentle, silver light. The spirit nodded in approval. "You have shown that your heart is pure and selfless. The Midnight Star is yours to use." Lila carefully took the Midnight Star from the pedestal, feeling its warmth and energy. With a grateful heart, she made her way back to her village. As she approached Eldoria, she held the star high above her head. A brilliant light emanated from the gem, and as it touched the land, the rivers began to flow once more. And the fields bloomed with vibrant flowers. The villagers rejoiced, their spirits lifted by the return of life and prosperity. They celebrated Lila's bravery and selflessness, knowing that her pure heart had saved them from their hardships. From that day on, Eldoria flourished, and the legend of the Midnight Star became a tale of hope and courage. Lila's name was remembered with great admiration, and her story was told for generations as a reminder of the power of selflessness and the magic of believing in one's dreams. And so, the kingdom of Eldoria thrived, and the Midnight Star continued to shine brightly, a beacon of hope and magic. And they all lived happily ever after. Once upon a time, in a kingdom far beyond the mountains, there was a village called Stardew, nestled in a valley where the sky seemed to touch the earth. The villagers lived simple, happy lives, tending to their crops and celebrating the beauty of nature. But the most extraordinary feature of Stardew was the Star Glade, a magical forest where stars would fall from the sky and transform into beautiful, glowing flowers. At the heart of the Star Glade, there stood an ancient oak tree, known as the Heart Tree, which was believed to be the source of all the magic in the valley. The Heart Tree was protected by a gentle but powerful guardian named Eldrin, a wise old elf who had watched over the glade for centuries. One peaceful night, a particularly bright star fell from the sky, landing gently at the base of the Heart Tree. As its light faded, the villagers gathered around, amazed to see a tiny, glowing child cradled in the roots of the tree. Eldrin approached the child and, sensing the magic within her, declared her to be a star child, destined for a great and important journey. The villagers named her Lyra, and she grew up with the love and care of the entire village. From an early age, Lyra displayed unique abilities. She could communicate with the animals, make plants grow with a touch, and even summon light to guide her through the dark. Eldrin became her mentor, teaching her about the magic of the glade and the importance of harmony with nature. One fateful evening, as Lyra celebrated her 12th birthday, a dark cloud loomed over Stardew. The villagers watched in fear as a figure emerged from the shadows, an ominous sorceress named Morwenna. Her eyes glowed with a sinister light, and her voice was as cold as the winter wind. "I have come for the heart tree," Morwenna declared. "With its power, I shall control all the magic of this land and plunge it into eternal darkness." Eldrin stepped forward, his staff glowing with protective magic. "You will not harm the heart tree, Morwenna. This land thrives on its light." Morwenna laughed, a chilling sound that echoed through the valley. "We shall see, old elf. But know this, I will return with an army to claim what is mine." With a flick of her cloak, Morwenna vanished into the night, leaving the villagers in fear and uncertainty. Eldrin knew that Morwenna's threat was not idle. They had to protect the heart tree, but they also needed a way to counter Morwenna's dark magic. Lyra, brave and determined, stepped forward. "I will find a way to save the heart tree and our home. There must be something in the star glade that can help us." Eldrin nodded, placing a hand on her shoulder. "Your heart is pure, Lyra. Trust in the magic within you and the wisdom of the forest." With Eldrin's blessing, Lyra ventured into the depths of the star glade. She traveled through enchanted groves and crossed shimmering streams, guided by the light of the stars. Along the way, she met many creatures who offered their help: a wise old owl named Sage, a mischievous fox named Rusty, and a gentle deer named Fawn. Together, they journeyed to the heart of the glade, where Lyra discovered an ancient scroll hidden in a hollow tree. The scroll contained a prophecy: when darkness threatens the heart of light, a star child born of heaven's flight must seek the crystal of dawn's embrace, to vanquish shadow and darkness erase. Sage, who could read the ancient language, explained that the crystal of dawn's embrace was a powerful artifact hidden in the crystal caves, located at the peak of the tallest mountain in the valley. It was said to have the power to dispel any dark magic. Determined to save her home, Lyra and her animal friends set off on the arduous journey to the crystal caves. They climbed steep cliffs, braved icy winds, and faced many challenges. Along the way, Lyra's courage and kindness won the hearts of many creatures, who joined her cause. After many days, they finally reached the crystal caves. Inside, the walls sparkled with countless crystals, casting a mesmerizing light. At the center of the cave, on a pedestal of pure quartz, lay the crystal of dawn's embrace. Its light was warm and soothing, filling Lyra with hope. As she reached out to take the crystal, a shadowy figure emerged from the darkness. It was Morwenna, who had followed them to the cave. "You cannot escape me, little star child," she hissed. "The heart tree's power will be mine." Lyra stood her ground, holding the crystal tightly. "I will not let you harm my home, Morwenna." Morwenna's eyes blazed with anger as she unleashed a bolt of dark magic. But Lyra, with the crystal of dawn's embrace in her hands, summoned a shield of pure light, deflecting the attack. The crystal's power surged through her, and she felt an ancient, celestial strength within her. With a shout of defiance, Lyra directed the crystal's light toward Morwenna, enveloping her in its radiant glow. The sorceress screamed as the light dispelled her dark magic, and in a flash, she was gone, banished from the land forever. Lyra and her friends returned to Stardew, the crystal of dawn's embrace glowing brightly in her hands. The villagers rejoiced, and Eldrin welcomed her back with open arms. Lyra placed the crystal at the base of the heart tree, its light merging with the tree's magic, strengthening the bond between the land and the stars. From that day forward, Lyra was known as the Guardian of the Glade. She continued to protect and nurture the magic of the star glade, ensuring that the light of the heart tree would shine brightly for generations to come. And so, under the watchful gaze of the stars, the kingdom of Eldoria flourished, forever grateful to the brave star child who saved them all. And they all lived happily ever after. The Sapphire Crown. Once upon a time, in a realm where emerald forests met sparkling lakes and majestic mountains, there was a hidden kingdom known as Eloria. Eloria was a land of wonders, protected by ancient magic and ruled by a wise and kind queen named Seraphina. The queen was loved by all, but her greatest treasure was the Sapphire Crown, a magical artifact that bestowed peace and prosperity upon the kingdom. However, a dark cloud loomed over Eloria when the sapphire crown was stolen by a cunning sorceress named Morgana. Morgana, envious of Eloria's harmony, believed that by possessing the crown, she could wield its power and plunge the realm into chaos. With the crown in her possession, Morgana fled to the Shadow Mountains, a treacherous place filled with dark enchantments. Queen Seraphina, though heartbroken, knew that the only way to restore balance was to retrieve the crown. The brave heart of Eloria in the kingdom, there lived a young shepherd named Leo. Leo was known for his bravery and kind heart, qualities that made him beloved by both people and animals. When he learned of the queen's plight, he felt a deep sense of responsibility to help. With a heart full of courage, Leo volunteered to embark on the quest to retrieve the sapphire crown. Queen Seraphina, recognizing Leo's noble spirit, granted him a special gift, a cloak of invisibility and a map that would guide him through the Shadow Mountains. With these tools, Leo set off on his journey, determined to recover the crown and save his kingdom. The journey begins. The path to the Shadow Mountains was fraught with challenges. Leo encountered dense fog, towering cliffs, and tricky illusions. As he navigated the treacherous terrain, he met various magical beings, including a talking fox named Felix and a wise old owl named Athena. Felix, who was known for his cleverness, offered Leo a riddle: "I can be cracked, made, told, and played. What am I?" Leo thought carefully and answered, "A joke." Felix, impressed by Leo's wit, shared a secret passage that would make Leo's journey easier. He also warned Leo of Morgana's powerful minions who guarded the entrance to her lair. Athena, the owl, provided Leo with guidance on how to use the cloak of invisibility to avoid detection and reach Morgana's fortress. She also gave him a special feather that could reveal hidden truths. The Fortress of Shadows. When Leo arrived at Morgana's fortress, he found it surrounded by dark magic and guarded by formidable creatures. Using his cloak of invisibility, Leo stealthily made his way inside the fortress. He followed the map and the clues provided by Felix and Athena, finding his way to the inner sanctum where Morgana kept the sapphire crown. As Leo approached the crown, Morgana appeared, her eyes glowing with malevolent power. She sneered at Leo, sensing the bravery in his heart. "You think you can take the crown from me? It's protected by powerful enchantments," she taunted. The final confrontation. Leo, though afraid, stood his ground. He used the feather Athena had given him to reveal the true nature of the enchantments. The feather illuminated hidden weaknesses in the magical barriers protecting the crown. With this knowledge, Leo carefully navigated the enchantments and reached the sapphire crown. Just as he was about to take the crown, Morgana cast a powerful spell to stop him. But Leo, using the cloak of invisibility in his quick thinking, managed to evade the spell and retrieve the crown. As he held it, the magical energy from the crown began to restore the fortress to its original, beautiful state. The return to Eloria with the sapphire crown safely in hand, Leo made his way back to Eloria. The kingdom rejoiced at his return, and Queen Seraphina was overjoyed to see the crown restored. The crown's magic once again blessed the land with peace and prosperity. Morgana's power diminished, and she was eventually banished from the realm, never to return. The kingdom celebrated Leo's bravery and selflessness with a grand feast, and he was honored as a hero. A new legacy. Leo's adventure became a beloved story in Eloria, a tale of courage and kindness. The sapphire crown continued to shine with its magical light, symbolizing the hope and strength of the kingdom. And Leo, having proven himself as a true hero, lived a life filled with honor and friendship. And so, Eloria remained a land of peace and prosperity, forever blessed by the bravery of one extraordinary young shepherd and the magic of the sapphire crown. In a land where rolling meadows met the edge of a dense, mysterious forest, there was a small village named Rivendell. The village was renowned for its shimmering fountains, each said to possess a unique magic. There was the Fountain of Joy, the Fountain of Wisdom, and the Fountain of Courage. These fountains were once the heart of the village, their waters bringing happiness, knowledge, and bravery to all who drank from them. However, over time, the fountains had been forgotten. The village's focus shifted to modern conveniences, and the ancient magic of the fountains was lost to memory. The fountains fell into disrepair, their once crystal-clear waters becoming stagnant and overgrown with weeds. Among the villagers was a young girl named Mira. Mira was known for her curiosity and kindness. One day, while exploring the overgrown paths of the village, she stumbled upon the abandoned fountains. Intrigued by the faded inscriptions and worn carvings, she felt a deep connection to the old legends her grandmother used to tell. Mira decided to restore the fountains to their former glory. She visited her grandmother, who had always been a keeper of the village's old stories. Her grandmother told her that the fountain's magic could only be revived by a special ritual that required 3 sacred ingredients: the tear of the moon, the heart of the forest, and the breath of the wind. Determined to complete the task, Mira embarked on a quest to find these ingredients. The tear of the moon. The first ingredient was the tear of the moon, a rare gem that could only be found during a full moon. Mira waited for the night of the full moon and ventured to the highest hill overlooking the village. There, she discovered a hidden cave where the moonlight filtered through a crack in the rock. Inside the cave, Mira found a shimmering gem that radiated with the light of the moon. She carefully collected the tear of the moon and moved on to her next quest. The heart of the forest. The second ingredient was the heart of the forest, a mystical flower said to bloom only in the deepest part of the forest. Guided by the ancient tales, Mira ventured into the dense woods. After hours of navigating through twisted trees and thick underbrush, she came upon a secluded glade. In the center of the glade, bathed in dappled sunlight, was the heart of the forest, a radiant flower with petals of emerald green and sapphire blue. Mira gently picked the flower, feeling its soothing energy. The breath of the wind. The final ingredient was the breath of the wind, which could only be captured atop the highest mountain peak. Mira began her ascent, braving rocky paths and chilling winds. When she reached the summit, she found an ancient wind chime made of crystal. The chime's gentle tinkling caught the wind and captured its essence. Mira carefully collected the breath of the wind in a small, enchanted vial. With all 3 ingredients secured, Mira returned to Rivendell. She began the ritual to restore the magic of the fountains. First, she placed the tear of the moon into the fountain of joy. As she did, the water began to sparkle, and a sense of happiness filled the air. Next, she added the heart of the forest to the fountain of wisdom. The water turned a deep, soothing blue, and knowledge seemed to flow through the village once again. Finally, she poured the breath of the wind into the fountain of courage. The water swirled with a vibrant energy, and the fountain's strength could be felt throughout the village. As the magic of the fountains was revived, Rivendell began to flourish. The villagers rediscovered the joy, wisdom, and courage that the fountains had once provided. The village came together to celebrate, and Mira was honored for her bravery and dedication. The fountains became a symbol of the village's renewed spirit. Mira's story was told for generations, reminding the villagers of the importance of preserving their heritage and the magic that lay within their world. And so, Rivendell thrived, its fountains forever shining as beacons of joy, wisdom, and courage, thanks to the young girl who believed in the power of forgotten magic. Once upon a time, in a quaint village bordered by lush forests and gentle hills, there lived a young girl named Isla. Isla was known for her love of nature and her beautiful garden, which was the pride of the village. She had a special gift for making plants thrive and flowers bloom, even in the harshest conditions. One day, as Isla was tending to her garden, she discovered a hidden, overgrown path at the edge of her property. The path was covered in vines and moss, and it seemed to beckon her with a soft, inviting glow. Intrigued, Isla decided to follow the path to see where it led. As she walked, the path twisted and turned through the forest until she arrived at an ancient stone archway covered in ivy. Beyond the archway was a breathtaking garden unlike any she had ever seen. The flowers sparkled like jewels, and the trees were adorned with glowing fruits. The air was filled with the sweet scent of blooming flowers and the melodious songs of unseen birds. In the center of the garden stood a magnificent fountain made of crystal, with water that shimmered like liquid silver. At the base of the fountain was a small, intricately carved box. Isla approached the box and opened it to find a golden key. Attached to the key was a note that read, "Asterisk, to find the true magic of this garden, you must complete 3 challenges. Only then will the garden's enchantment be yours to share." Asterisk. Isla's heart raced with excitement. She was determined to unlock the garden's secrets and bring its magic back to her village. She set off to face the 3 challenges. Challenge 1. The Maze of Mirrors. The first challenge was a maze made of tall, shimmering mirrors. The mirrors reflected every direction, making it difficult to find the correct path. As Isla entered the maze, she felt disoriented by the endless reflections. However, she noticed that the reflections of the mirrors seemed to guide her, showing a faint path through the maze. Isla took a deep breath and followed the reflections, trusting her instincts. She navigated the maze carefully and emerged at the center, where a beautiful, radiant flower awaited her. The flower held the clue to the next challenge, a constellation pattern that lit up in the night sky. Challenge 2. The Enchanted Stream. The second challenge was to cross an enchanted stream that flowed with sparkling, golden water. The stream was guarded by a wise old turtle named Terran, who asked Isla to answer a riddle to gain passage. The riddle was, "I am not alive, but I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I?" Isla pondered the riddle and realized the answer was fire. She answered correctly, and Terran allowed her to cross the stream by providing her with a magical stepping stone that floated on the water. As she crossed, she collected a glowing vial of water from the stream. Challenge 3. The Tree of Wishes. The final challenge was to retrieve a magical fruit from the top of the Tree of Wishes. The tree was enormous, and its branches reached high into the sky, laden with shimmering fruits. At the top, the fruit that Isla needed was glowing with a soft, warm light. To climb the tree, Isla had to use the magical water from the stream to reveal hidden, glowing steps on the tree's trunk. She carefully made her way up, step by step, using the vial of water to reveal the path. At the top, she reached for the glowing fruit and gently plucked it from the branch. With the fruit and the golden key in hand, Isla returned to the garden center. She unlocked a hidden door in the base of the crystal fountain with the golden key. The door opened to reveal a magical garden filled with even more vibrant flowers and enchanted creatures. The garden's magic filled Isla with a sense of joy and wonder. She realized that the true magic of the garden was not just in its beauty but in the lessons it taught her: courage, wisdom, and perseverance. Isla returned to her village, bringing with her a small bouquet of the enchanted flowers and the magical fruit. The villagers marveled at the flowers' brilliance and the fruit's sweetness. The garden's magic helped the village flourish, bringing prosperity and happiness to everyone. Isla continued to tend her own garden with renewed passion, sharing the magic and beauty she had discovered with her fellow villagers. Her adventure became a beloved story, a reminder of the wonders that lie just beyond the known world and the magic that can be found in the heart of those who seek it. And so, the village thrived under Isla's care, and the enchanted garden remained a cherished memory, a place of wonder and inspiration for generations to come. The end. Once upon a time, in a village surrounded by vast emerald fields and rolling hills, there was a willow tree unlike any other. Known as the Whispering Willow, it stood at the heart of the village and was said to possess magical powers. The villagers believed that the tree could grant wishes, but only to those whose hearts were pure and selfless. In this village lived a young girl named Lily. She was known for her kind heart and unyielding curiosity. Lily lived with her grandmother, who would often tell her stories of the Whispering Willow and the many wishes it had granted. These stories filled Lily with wonder and a desire to visit the tree herself. One day, as Lily was tending to her chores, she noticed a commotion in the village square. A group of villagers had gathered, whispering anxiously. She hurried over to see what was happening and discovered that the village's well had dried up. Without water, the crops would wither, and the villagers would face a harsh winter. Determined to help, Lily decided to visit the Whispering Willow. That evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the stars began to twinkle, Lily made her way to the tree. She knelt beside its gnarled roots and whispered her wish. "Dear Whispering Willow, please bring water back to our village so that we may survive the coming winter," she pleaded, her voice soft but earnest. A gentle breeze rustled the willow's leaves, and Lily felt a strange warmth envelop her. The tree's branches swayed as if acknowledging her request. She stayed there for a while, feeling a deep connection to the ancient tree, before heading home with a hopeful heart. The next morning, Lily woke to the sound of joyous shouts. She rushed outside and saw the villagers gathered around the well. Water was flowing freely once more. The villagers were overjoyed, thanking the Whispering Willow for its miraculous gift. Lily's heart swelled with happiness, knowing that her wish had been granted. Days turned into weeks, and the village flourished. The fields were green, the crops grew tall, and the villagers worked together to prepare for winter. Despite their newfound prosperity, Lily felt that her work was not yet done. She knew that true happiness came not just from physical well-being but also from the bonds between people. She began organizing gatherings under the Whispering Willow, where villagers could share stories, sing songs, and celebrate their community. These gatherings brought the villagers closer together, fostering a sense of unity and cooperation. One evening, during one such gathering, an old woman approached Lily. Her eyes sparkled with wisdom, and she spoke with a voice that seemed to echo with the whispers of the willow's leaves. "You have done well, young one," the old woman said. "The Whispering Willow's magic is not just in granting wishes but in bringing out the best in people. Your selfless heart and dedication to your village have made a true difference." Lily smiled, understanding that the magic of the Whispering Willow was intertwined with the goodness in people's hearts. The tree had granted her wish, but it was her own actions and the unity of the villagers that had truly transformed their lives. The story of Lily and the Whispering Willow spread far and wide, becoming a cherished legend. The tree continued to stand at the heart of the village, a symbol of hope and community. Villagers and travelers alike would visit, not just to make wishes, but to remember the power of kindness and togetherness. And so, the village thrived, its people living in harmony, guided by the gentle whispers of the willow tree in the legacy of a young girl's pure heart. They knew that as long as they remained united and kind, the magic of the Whispering Willow would always be with them. And they all lived happily ever after. Once upon a time, in a kingdom where flowers whispered secrets and trees sang lullabies, there was a hidden garden known only to the moon and the stars. This enchanted garden was a place of wonder, where flowers glowed with their own light and the air was filled with the scent of magic. It was ruled by a gentle fairy queen named Elowen, who watched over the garden with great care. In the village nearby, lived a young girl named Lila. She had always been fascinated by the tales of the enchanted garden but had never seen it with her own eyes. Every night, she would look up at the moon and wonder about the mysterious garden that lay hidden from the world. One evening, as the full moon rose high in the sky, a soft, melodious tune filled the air. The song was so beautiful that it seemed to reach right into Lila's heart. Driven by curiosity and wonder, she followed the melody through the dark woods and over the rolling hills. As she walked, the moonlight seemed to guide her path, and soon she arrived at a large, ivy-covered gate. The gate was adorned with sparkling gems that shimmered in the moonlight. Lila pushed open the gate, and it creaked softly as she stepped into the garden. The sight before her was breathtaking. The garden was a sea of luminescent flowers and shimmering leaves. The moonlight bathed the garden in a silvery glow, and fireflies danced like stars among the blooms. At the heart of the garden stood a majestic tree with silver branches and a trunk that seemed to sparkle with every color of the rainbow. As Lila wandered through the garden, she noticed a particularly radiant flower growing at the base of the tree. It was a moonflower, known for its magical properties. The moonflower was said to grant a single wish to those pure of heart. Just as Lila approached the moonflower, a soft voice spoke from behind her. "Greetings, young traveler," said Queen Elowen, emerging from behind the tree. She was a delicate fairy with wings like gossamer and a crown made of moonlight. "I am Queen Elowen, the guardian of this enchanted garden." Lila was awestruck and managed to stammer, "I've heard stories about this place and the moonflower. I came to see if the stories were true." Queen Elowen smiled warmly. "The moonflower is indeed magical, but it is not just for wishing. It's a symbol of hope and dreams. However, it can only grant its gift to those who show kindness and bravery. As they spoke, a sudden gust of wind swept through the garden, and the sky darkened ominously. The enchanted garden was being threatened by a dark force, the shadow of despair, a creature that thrived on sadness and darkness. The shadow began to cast a veil of gloom over the garden, dimming the light of the moonflower. Queen Aloan's face grew worried. The shadow of despair seeks to consume the light of the moonflower. Without it, the garden will fall into darkness, and its magic will be lost forever. Without hesitation, Lila took a deep breath and stepped forward. I will help you. I want to save the garden and the moonflower. Queen Aloan nodded in approval. Brave and kind-hearted indeed. To defeat the shadow of despair, you must find the 3 hidden crystals of light that are scattered throughout the garden. These crystals will restore the moonflower's glow and drive away the shadow. Lila accepted the challenge and set out to find the crystals. She ventured through the garden, solving riddles and overcoming obstacles. The first crystal was hidden in a pond guarded by a wise old turtle who only revealed it when Lila answered a question about the importance of hope. The second crystal was nestled within a grove of trees that sang songs of bravery. To obtain it, Lila had to recite a poem of courage from her heart, demonstrating her resolve and strength. The third crystal was hidden high in the branches of the silver tree, and to reach it, Lila had to climb and face her own fears of heights. As she reached for the crystal, she felt a surge of determination and confidence. With the 3 crystals in hand, Lila returned to the moonflower. She carefully placed the crystals around the flower, and their combined light began to shine brightly. The moonflower's glow intensified, pushing back the darkness of the shadow of despair. The shadow shrieked and writhed as the light grew stronger, eventually dissipating into the night. The garden was saved, and its magic was restored. The moonflower bloomed more beautifully than ever, and the garden's enchantment was even more radiant. Queen Aloan thanked Lila for her bravery and kindness. You have shown that true magic lies in the heart's courage and hope. The moonflower has granted you one wish. Lila thought for a moment and then said, I wish for the garden's magic to always Once upon a time, in a far-off kingdom surrounded by rolling hills and sparkling rivers, there was an enchanted forest. This forest was famous for its magical creatures and hidden wonders. Trees whispered secrets, and flowers sang gentle lullabies. But there was one creature who lived there that stood out among the rest, a tiny squirrel named Pip. Pip was no ordinary squirrel. He had a bushy tail that sparkled with a faint, golden glow, and his bright eyes reflected the light of the moon. He was known for his bravery, even though he was small. The other animals in the forest admired him, but they often worried for him because of his daring spirit. One day, a dark cloud covered the sun, and the forest fell into an eerie silence. The magical enchantments that kept the forest vibrant were slowly fading. The once green leaves began to wilt, and the flowers lost their colors. The creatures of the forest were frightened, for they knew something was terribly wrong. The wise old owl, Eldora, who was the keeper of ancient secrets, called for a meeting. She perched high on her favorite oak tree and looked down at the assembled animals. The enchantments of the forest are fading because the Heartstone, which keeps our magic alive, has been stolen, Eldora hooted. We need someone brave enough to find it and restore the balance. Pip's heart raced. He knew this was his chance to prove his courage. Without hesitation, he stepped forward. I will find the Heartstone, Pip declared, his voice trembling but resolute. Eldora's wise eyes softened. Very well, Pip. But remember, the journey will be perilous. You will face many challenges, but trust in yourself and the friends you make along the way. With a nod, Pip set off on his quest. He traveled through the forest, his paws patting softly over the fallen leaves. As he ventured deeper into the woods, he encountered a series of trials. First, Pip reached the River of Echoes, which was known for its tricky currents and illusions. The river's surface shimmered with 1,000 reflections. Pip had to find the true path to cross. He remembered Eldora's words and took a deep breath, trusting his instincts. He followed the sound of a gentle melody that seemed to call to him, leading him safely to the other side. Next, Pip faced the dark caves of shadow. The caves were filled with whispers and moving shadows that could lead any traveler astray. Pip had to rely on his sharp senses and intuition. He remembered the stories of his elders about the importance of listening to the forest's whispers. Using a small, enchanted lantern given to him by the wise owl, Pip navigated through the darkness and emerged on the other side. Finally, Pip reached the peak of the misty mountain, where the Heartstone was said to be hidden. The climb was steep and treacherous, but Pip's determination kept him going. As he neared the top, he found himself in the presence of a fierce dragon named Scorch. The dragon guarded the Heartstone with a fiery breath and a stern gaze. Scorch roared, "Why do you seek the Heartstone, little Squirtle?" Pip stood tall, despite his small size. "I seek the Heartstone to restore the magic of the forest and save my home. I am not afraid, for my heart is pure and my mission is true." Scorch, surprised by Pip's bravery, softened. Many have tried to take the Heartstone, but they were driven by greed or fear. You are the first to come with a noble purpose. The dragon then shared a secret. The Heartstone is not just a gem but a symbol of courage and kindness. It chooses its protector based on the heart's worth. You have proven yourself worthy. With a deep, resonant roar, Scorch allowed Pip to take the Heartstone. As Pip held the glowing gem in his tiny paws, he felt a surge of warmth and strength. The Heartstone's magic began to spread, revitalizing the forest below. Pip made his way back, the Heartstone restoring the colors and life to the forest. The animals cheered as the enchantments returned, and the once silent forest came alive with joy. Eldora greeted Pip with pride. "You have done it, brave Pip. You have saved us all." Pip smiled, his golden tail shimmering in the sunlight. He had faced many challenges, but it was his courage, kindness, and belief in himself that had led him to success. From that day on, Pip was celebrated as a hero, and the enchanted forest thrived more beautifully than ever before. Pip continued to live among his friends, always ready for another adventure, and he learned that true bravery comes from the heart. And so, the enchanted forest remained a place of magic and wonder, thanks to the bravery of a small but courageous squirrel named Pip. The end. In a lush, green valley surrounded by majestic mountains and sparkling streams, there was a peaceful village named Rivermist. The villagers were known for their harmony with nature and their joyful spirits. Among them was a young woman named Alara, who worked as a skilled cartographer. She had a special gift for drawing maps that captured not just the geography but the essence of the places she charted. One misty morning, while Alara was exploring a forgotten trail on the outskirts of the village, she stumbled upon an old, moss-covered chest buried beneath a tangle of ivy. The chest was intricately carved with symbols of stars and compass roses. Alara's heart raced with excitement as she carefully pried it open. Inside, she found an ornate compass that seemed to hum with a gentle, magical energy. The compass was unlike any Alara had ever seen. Its needle spun slowly, pointing not just north but to something elusive. An inscription on the back of the compass read, "Follow the compass to where hearts are true, and secrets of the world will be revealed to you." Curious and intrigued, Alara decided to embark on a quest to discover where the compass would lead. She packed a small satchel with essentials, some food, a warm cloak, and her trusty map-making tools. With the enchanted compass in hand, she set off towards the unknown. As Alara journeyed through forests and across meadows, the compass needle would occasionally spin and then settle, always pointing her towards an ever-changing direction. She followed its guidance through deep, whispering woods and over rolling hills until she reached the edge of a vast, shimmering lake. The compass led Alara to a small island in the middle of the lake, accessible only by a narrow stone bridge. On the island stood a grand, ancient tree with golden leaves that glistened in the sunlight. At the base of the tree was a large, intricately carved door, adorned with celestial motifs similar to those on the chest she had found. Alara approached the door and noticed a keyhole that matched the shape of the compass. With a deep breath, she placed the compass into the keyhole. the compass clicked into place, and the door creaked open, revealing a hidden chamber bathed in a warm, golden light. Inside the chamber was a beautiful, ornate mirror framed with twinkling gems. The mirror's surface was not a typical reflection but seemed to ripple like water. Elara approached it cautiously, and as she did, the mirror's surface began to show scenes of distant lands and fantastical creatures. A voice, gentle and melodious, spoke from the mirror. "Welcome, Elara. You have followed the compass with a heart full of curiosity and courage. The mirror reveals the heart's true desires and the wisdom one seeks." Elara looked into the mirror and saw not just landscapes but the faces of her friends and family. She saw visions of her village thriving and her maps guiding others to new and wondrous places. The mirror showed her that her true desire was not merely to uncover hidden places but to use her talents to enrich and uplift those around her. The voice continued, "The compass has guided you to this moment. Now, you have the power to share the secrets you have discovered with those who seek to explore the world and learn from its wonders." With a sense of clarity and purpose, Elara understood that the mirror's gift was not just knowledge but the ability to inspire and guide others. She thanked the mirror and left the chamber, taking with her the realization that her journey was as much about self-discovery as it was about exploration. Elara returned to Rivamist, where she began to use her newfound wisdom to create detailed and enchanted maps that revealed not only geographical features but also hidden wonders and magical places. Her maps became cherished treasures, guiding explorers and adventurers to places of beauty and discovery. The village of Rivermist flourished as a center of learning and wonder, and Elara's legacy lived on through the countless maps she created. The enchanted compass remained in a place of honor in her home, a reminder of the journey that had led her to understand the true essence of her heart's desires. And so, the tale of Elara and the enchanted compass became a beloved story, told to each new generation as a reminder that the greatest discoveries come from within and that true guidance comes from following one's heart with courage and integrity. Once upon a time, in a lush green forest, there stood a mighty oak tree. This tree was home to many animals, but its most special treasure was the little acorn that hung from one of its branches. The little acorn was small but full of dreams. It often looked down at the forest floor and wondered what it would be like to grow into a big, strong tree just like its mother. The other acorns laughed at the little acorn because it was so small and always dreaming. "You'll never be as big as the oak tree," they teased. But the little acorn didn't listen to them. It believed in itself and knew that one day, it would be something great. One windy autumn day, the little acorn felt a strong breeze shake the branches of the oak tree. The wind was so powerful that it made the little acorn tremble. Suddenly, the little acorn lost its grip on the branch and began to fall. Down, down, down it tumbled, until it landed softly on the forest floor. The little acorn looked around and saw the tall grass, colorful mushrooms, and even a family of squirrels who lived nearby. Everything seemed so big, and the little acorn felt so small. But instead of being scared, the little acorn whispered to itself, "This is where my journey begins." The days grew shorter, and the air became colder as winter approached. The little acorn was soon covered by fallen leaves, which kept it warm and safe. Beneath the ground, something magical started to happen. The little acorn began to grow roots, and those roots slowly spread out, searching for water and nutrients in the soil. As winter turned to spring, the forest came alive with the sounds of birds chirping and animals waking up from their winter slumber. The little acorn had changed too. From the top of the acorn, a tiny green shoot emerged, reaching for the sunlight. Day by day, the shoot grew taller, until it became a small sapling with leaves of its own. The other plants and trees in the forest were amazed. "Look at that little sapling," they said. "It used to be just a tiny acorn, but now it's growing strong." The little sapling was happy but knew that its journey was far from over. Every day, it stretched its branches higher and dug its roots deeper, drinking in the sunshine and the rain. The sapling faced many challenges: strong winds, heavy rains, and even a hungry rabbit that nibbled at its leaves, but it never gave up. As the years passed, the sapling grew into a young oak tree. It wasn't as tall or as wide as the other trees yet, but it was sturdy and full of life. The animals in the forest came to know the young oak tree and admired its strength and determination. One summer, a terrible storm swept through the forest. The wind howled, and the rain poured down in sheets. The older trees, tall and strong, were shaken to their roots. Some even lost branches, and a few were uprooted entirely. But the young oak tree stood firm, its deep roots holding it steady in the storm. When the storm finally passed, the forest was quiet. The animals peeked out from their shelters and saw the damage the storm had done. But there, standing tall and proud, was the young oak tree. It had survived the storm without losing a single branch. The forest animals gathered around the young oak tree and cheered. "You were just a little acorn, but now you're a mighty oak. You've shown us all that size doesn't matter, it's the strength inside that counts." The young oak tree was filled with pride and joy. It had grown from a tiny acorn into a strong tree, just like it had always dreamed. And though it still had many years of growing ahead, it knew that it would continue to thrive, no matter what challenges came its way. From that day on, the young oak tree stood as a symbol of hope and courage in the forest. Whenever a new acorn fell to the ground, the animals would tell the story of the brave little acorn that never gave up. And as they listened, the new acorns would dream of the day they, too, would grow into strong, mighty oaks. And so, the little acorn story spread through the forest, inspiring every creature, big and small, to believe in themselves and to never give up on their dreams. And that, dear reader, is the tale of the brave little acorn, who grew into a mighty oak tree. The end. Once upon a time, in a realm where emerald forests met sapphire skies, there was a hidden grove known as the Starlit Grove. This magical grove was said to be blessed by the stars themselves, and every night, its trees glowed with a gentle, celestial light. The village and nearby had long whispered legends about the grove's magic, but no one had ever ventured inside, until a brave girl named Mira decided to uncover its secrets. Mira was known for her adventurous spirit and her deep curiosity about the world beyond the village. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the stars began to twinkle, Mira stood at the edge of the grove, mesmerized by its glowing trees. Her grandmother had often told her stories about the grove, saying that it held the power to grant a single wish to anyone who discovered its heart. Determined to find out if the legends were true, Mira stepped into the grove. The air was cool and fragrant, and the path ahead shimmered with stardust. Mira followed the glowing trail, her heart pounding with excitement and a touch of nervousness. As she ventured deeper into the grove, she came across a small, sparkling stream. The water was clear as crystal, and it sang a soft, melodious tune as it flowed. At the edge of the stream stood a wise old owl perched on a low-hanging branch. "Greetings, young traveler," the owl said in a gentle, yet knowing voice. "To reach the heart of the Starlit Grove, you must first solve a riddle. Only then will the way be revealed." Mira nodded, eager to prove her worth. The owl's eyes twinkled as it began the riddle. "I have keys, but open no locks. I have space, but no room. You can enter, but you cannot go outside. What am I?" Mira thought hard, her eyes scanning the grove. After a moment of contemplation, she answered, "A piano." The owl hooted in approval and gave her a feather that glowed faintly with starry light. "Well done. Take this feather, and let it guide you further." With the feather in hand, Mira continued her journey. The grove grew even more enchanting as she walked, with trees sparkling brighter and the stardust on the ground forming patterns that seemed to point the way. Eventually, she reached a large, ancient oak tree with a grand, gnarled trunk and branches that reached high into the night sky. At the base of the oak tree was a hidden door, decorated with intricate carvings of constellations. Mira used the glowing feather to unlock the door, revealing a hidden chamber inside the tree. The chamber was filled with soft, silvery light and a sense of profound tranquility. In the center of the chamber was a pedestal holding a small, radiant star encased in a crystal sphere. The star seemed to pulse with a gentle, rhythmic light. Mira approached the pedestal, her heart racing with anticipation. As she reached out to touch the crystal sphere, the grove around her began to hum softly. The light from the star grew brighter, and a warm, soothing voice filled the chamber. "Welcome, Mira. You have proven yourself brave and wise. This is the Star of Wishes. It holds the power to grant one wish to the one who finds it with a pure heart." Mira closed her eyes and made her wish. She wished for the prosperity and happiness of her village, hoping to bring joy and well-being to her family and friends. The moment Mira's wish was made, the star's light intensified, and the chamber was filled with a shimmering glow. The light radiated out from the grove, touching every corner of the village. The next morning, the villagers awoke to find their fields lush and green, their homes filled with warmth, and their hearts uplifted with joy. Mira returned to the village, greeted with cheers and celebrations. She shared her adventure and the story of the Starlit Grove, and the villagers marveled at the magic that had touched their lives. From that day on, the grove remained a place of wonder and mystery, visited only by those with a heart full of curiosity and courage. The villagers continued to thrive, inspired by Mira's bravery and the magic of the grove. And so, the Starlit Grove's secret continued to shine bright, a timeless reminder that the magic of wishes is not just in the stars, but in the hearts of those who believe. The end.
In the enchanting kingdom of Lyria, where magical creatures roamed and the sky was a canvas of ever-changing colors, there was a tale of a mystical artifact known as the Silver Star. Legend spoke of a hidden valley where this star lay, capable of granting a single wish to anyone with a heart full of hope and courage. In a small village on the edge of the kingdom lived a young girl named Alara. She had a kind heart and a deep love for her people, who had been suffering from a terrible drought that had withered their lands. Driven by her desire to help, Alara decided to find the Silver Star and make a wish to restore her village. One morning, Alara discovered an old, dusty map hidden in her grandmother's attic. The map was adorned with ancient symbols and a cryptic riddle. It was said that the map could lead to the hidden valley, but only if one could solve the riddle. The riddle read, "In the land where shadows dance and sunlight weaves a golden thread, seek the path where the heart leads, where the quiet whispers are said." Determined, Alara set off on her journey, following the directions on the map. Her path took her through lush forests, across sparkling streams, and over rolling hills. The landscape seemed to change with every step she took, as though it was alive with magic. Alara soon entered the enchanted forest, a place where the trees were said to hold secrets and the air was thick with magic. As she walked, she came across a shimmering, golden pathway leading deeper into the woods. The path seemed to glow under the canopy of ancient trees. Suddenly, a gentle voice spoke from the shadows. It was a wise old fairy named Thistle. To proceed, you must first show your heart's true intention. Answer me this: what is the greatest gift one can give? Alara thought carefully and replied, "The greatest gift is to give love and kindness freely, without expecting anything in return." Thistle smiled and waved her hand, creating a magical bridge across a wide chasm. "You have answered wisely. Proceed, and may your heart guide you." Beyond the enchanted forest, Alara faced the Mountain of Echoes, where every sound was amplified and twisted. The mountain was steep and treacherous, with echoes that could confuse even the most determined traveler. As Alara climbed, she heard the echoes of her own doubts and fears. "You cannot do this," the echoes seemed to say. But Alara remembered her purpose and pushed onward, each step resonating with her courage and hope. At the mountain's peak, she found an ancient gate covered in vines. The gate had a keyhole shaped like a star, and beside it lay a small, silver key. The key glimmered with a familiar light. Alara used the key to unlock the gate, revealing a narrow, moonlit path leading downward. The path led Alara to a hidden valley, bathed in a soft, silvery glow. The valley was surrounded by towering cliffs, and at its center was a serene lake with water that sparkled like a sea of stars. In the lake's center, on a pedestal, lay the Silver Star, radiating a gentle, soothing light. Alara approached the Silver Star and felt its warmth. A voice echoed from the star, "To make your wish, You must first understand its true meaning. Elara took a deep breath and thought of her village, her people's struggles, and her own hopes for a better future. She whispered her wish. I wish for rain to restore the land and for my village to be saved. As Elara spoke her wish, the silver star's light grew brighter, and a soft rain began to fall. The rain was gentle at first, but soon it became a steady downpour, nourishing the land and filling the streams. The valley seemed to come alive with lush greenery and vibrant flowers. Elara returned to her village, finding that the rain had reached them as well. The once dry fields were now lush and green. The rivers flowed with clear water, and the air was filled with the sweet scent of blooming flowers. The villagers rejoiced and celebrated Elara's bravery and selflessness. They marveled at the miraculous change and were grateful for the young girl who had ventured into the unknown to save them. The silver star remained in the hidden valley, a symbol of hope and the power of a pure heart. Elara's story became a cherished legend in Lyria, inspiring others to pursue their dreams and help those in need. The valley, now known as the Valley of Stars, was visited by many who sought to be inspired by its magic and the story of the girl who had wished for the good of others. And so, Elara's bravery and kindness lived on, reminding everyone that even the smallest wish, when driven by love and courage, could bring about the most wondrous change.
Once upon a time, in a land where rolling meadows met deep, whispering forests, there was a small village named Harmonia. The village was known for its enchanting music that filled the air with joy. Every evening, the villagers gathered around the great oak tree in the village square to sing and play instruments, creating a melody that echoed through the land. But one winter, a great silence fell over Harmonia. The once melodious songs faded into an eerie quiet. The villagers tried to play their instruments, but no sound came forth. The heart of their music, the magical lyre of Leora, had vanished. Without it, the village could not play its beloved music, and despair began to settle in. In the heart of the village lived a brave and kind-hearted girl named Elara. She was known for her love of music and her gentle spirit. Elara decided she would find the missing lyre and restore harmony to her village. One snowy morning, Elara set out on her quest. She ventured into the Whispering Forest, where the trees were said to hold secrets and magic. She carried with her a small pouch of enchanted berries given to her by the village elder. These berries, when eaten, would light her path if she found herself in trouble. As Elara ventured deeper into the forest, she encountered a wise old fox with fur as white as snow. The fox looked at her with curious eyes. "Why do you wander in these woods, brave child?" the fox asked. "I seek the lyre of Leora," Elara replied. "It has been stolen, and our village has lost its music." The fox's eyes softened. "The lyre you seek is guarded by the enchanted dragon of the northern peaks. To retrieve it, you must complete 3 challenges that test your heart and spirit." Elara nodded, determined to face whatever lay ahead. The fox gave her a map of the forest and pointed her towards the first challenge. The first challenge was to cross the River of Reflection, a mystical river that mirrored not only one's appearance but their true self. Elara approached the river and saw not only her reflection but also the fears and doubts she carried within her heart. She took a deep breath, faced her inner self with courage, and crossed the river by acknowledging her fears and moving past them. Next, Elara reached the Field of Echoes, where her voice was challenged by a chorus of echoes that repeated her words back in confusing ways. To find her way, she had to speak with honesty and clarity, letting her true intentions shine through. Elara sang a heartfelt melody, her clear and sincere voice cutting through the echoes and guiding her to the next path. Finally, Elara arrived at the Cave of Stars, where the enchanted dragon dwelled. The dragon's scales glittered like a night sky, and its eyes glowed with ancient wisdom. The dragon spoke in a deep, rumbling voice. "To retrieve the lyre, you must answer this riddle," the dragon said. "I am not alive, yet I grow. I don't have lungs, yet I need air. I don't have a mouth, yet water kills me. What am I?" Elara thought deeply and then answered, "A fire." The dragon's eyes sparkled with approval. You have shown wisdom and bravery. The lyre of Leora is yours to take, but remember that its power lies not only in its music but in the harmony it creates." The dragon handed Elara the lyre, and its strings shimmered with a soft, golden light. Elara thanked the dragon and made her way back to Harmonia. As Elara returned to the village, the sky cleared, and a sense of anticipation filled the air. The villagers gathered around the great oak tree, and Elara placed the lyre in its customary place. She gently strummed its strings, and a beautiful, melodious tune began to fill the village. The music was more enchanting than ever before, and the villagers felt a wave of joy and relief. The lost melody had been found, and the village of Harmonia thrived once more under the magical music of the lyre. Elara's bravery and determination were celebrated, and her story became a cherished tale in Harmonia. And so, the village continued to sing and play their enchanting melodies, forever grateful for the return of their beloved lyre and the harmony it brought to their hearts. Once upon a time, in the quaint village of Everwood, there was an old well at the edge of the village square. This was no ordinary well, it was known as the Wishing Well. Legend said it could grant one wish to those who truly believed and had a heart full of hope. However, the well had been silent for many years, and its magic was thought to have faded. In Everwood lived a young boy named Finn. Finn was a dreamer with a heart full of kindness. He spent his days helping his neighbors, always hoping to make their lives better. His greatest wish was to restore his village's old library, which had fallen into disrepair and was now closed. Finn believed that the library held the key to unlocking the village's potential and bringing knowledge and joy to everyone. One crisp autumn day, after reading one of the few books left in the library, Finn decided that he would try to make his wish come true. He approached the wishing well with a determined heart. As he gazed into its depths, he saw nothing but darkness. Yet, he had heard the stories from his elders and believed in the well's magic. With a deep breath, Finn took a small coin from his pocket and dropped it into the well, making his heartfelt wish. "I wish to restore the old library and bring knowledge and happiness back to Everwood," he said. The well remained silent, and Finn left feeling a mixture of hope and doubt. As days passed, Finn worked tirelessly on his own, cleaning up the library, repairing broken shelves, and gathering donations from the villagers. Despite his efforts, the library remained a long way from being restored. One night, as Finn was working late, a soft glow filled the library. He looked up to see a small, glowing figure hovering in the air. It was a friendly fairy named Leora, who had been sent by the magic of the Wishing Well. "Finn, your wish has reached the heart of the well," Leora said with a warm smile. "But to truly restore the library, you must undertake a quest. The library holds many secrets, and only by uncovering them can you bring it back to life." Leora handed Finn a small, ornate key and a map that showed 3 hidden locations around the village. Each of these places holds a piece of the library's magic. Find them, and you will unlock the power needed to restore the library. Finn accepted the key and the map, and the next day began his quest. The first location on the map was the old oak tree at the edge of the village. Finn discovered a hidden compartment in the tree's trunk, containing a dusty, old book. As he opened the book, it glowed with a warm light, and the pages revealed the history of the library and its significance to Everwood. The second location was a small, forgotten garden behind the village church. In the center of the garden was a weathered stone pedestal. On the pedestal was a delicate, silver charm shaped like an open book. Finn took the charm and felt a surge of inspiration and hope. The final location led Finn to the village's ancient well, which was now a serene pond covered with lily pads. Underneath the water, Finn found a beautiful, golden locket. Inside the locket was a tiny, intricate model of the library. Finn realized that the locket symbolized the heart of the library and its connection to the villagers. With all 3 pieces in hand, Finn returned to the library. As he placed the book, charm, and locket in the center of the main reading room, a brilliant light enveloped the library. The old shelves and walls were magically restored, and the library's once dusty books began to glow with new life. The villagers gathered in awe as the library was transformed into a vibrant, welcoming place filled with knowledge and magic. They celebrated Finn's success and thanked him for his dedication and hard work. From that day on, the library became the heart of Everwood, where villagers came to learn, share stories, and dream of new possibilities. Finn's wish had come true, and the village flourished with renewed energy and joy. The wishing well, though silent once more, had fulfilled its promise through Finn's unwavering belief and determination. And so, the tale of the wishing well and the boy who restored the library became a cherished story in Everwood, inspiring generations to believe in the magic of their own hearts and the power of dreams. The end. Once upon a time, in a land where emerald forests met shimmering lakes, there was a hidden village called Luminera. This village was renowned for its enchanting music, which was said to be woven from moonlight and stardust. Every evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, the village would light up with a soft, magical glow, and the air would be filled with melodies that seemed to touch the very soul. The source of this enchanting music was a young woman named Lyra. Lyra was a gifted musician who played a silver harp passed down through generations in her family. The harp was rumored to be imbued with a touch of moon magic, but no one knew the full extent of its power except for Lyra. She had always believed that the harp held a special secret, but its mysteries remained hidden from her. One clear, moonlit night, as the village prepared for its annual Moonlight Festival, Lyra noticed something unusual. The moon was brighter than ever, casting a silvery glow over the village and its surroundings. The air was charged with an ethereal energy that made Lyra's harp vibrate softly as if it was responding to the moon's light. That night, as Lyra played her harp, the melodies took on a new, hauntingly beautiful quality. The notes seemed to dance on the breeze, creating shimmering patterns of light and shadow. The villagers were mesmerized by the music, feeling as though they were floating in a dream. As the festival reached its peak, a mysterious figure appeared at the edge of the village. He was cloaked in a deep, midnight blue robe that sparkled like the night sky, and his eyes shone with an otherworldly light. He watched Lyra intently as she played, his expression a mix of curiosity and admiration. After the performance, the figure approached Lyra. "Your music is extraordinary," he said, his voice like a gentle breeze. "I am Orion, a guardian of the moon's secrets. The time has come for you to uncover the true magic of your harp." Lyra was astonished but intrigued. "How can I uncover its magic?" Orion smiled. "The harp's power is connected to the moon's light. On this night, when the moon is at its fullest, you have the chance to reveal its hidden potential. Follow me, and I will guide you." Orion led Lyra to a secluded glade at the edge of the forest. The moonlight here was particularly intense, bathing the glade in a soft, silvery light. At the center of the glade was a stone altar, and beside it, a small pool of crystal-clear water. "Place your harp upon the altar," Orion instructed, "and play a melody that comes from your heart." Lyra placed her harp on the altar and began to play. As she strummed the strings, a gentle, harmonious sound filled the glade. The moonlight seemed to respond, growing brighter and swirling around her like a magical mist. The notes from the harp floated into the air, merging with the moonlight to create a stunning spectacle of light and sound. Suddenly, the water in the pool began to glow, and a vision appeared on its surface. It was a beautiful, shimmering realm that looked like a dreamscape of stars and moonlight. The vision revealed a hidden garden, where flowers glowed with an otherworldly light and trees sparkled like constellations. Orion spoke again, his voice full of wonder. "The vision you see is the heart of the moon, a place where dreams and magic are born. Your harp has the power to unlock the gateway to this realm. To open it, you must play a melody that harmonizes with the heartbeat of the moon." Lyra focused deeply, allowing her music to flow with the rhythm of her heart and the pulse of the moonlight. The melody she played was a perfect blend of hope, joy, and wonder. As the final note resonated through the air, the vision on the water grew brighter, and a shimmering portal appeared above the pool. The portal led to the heart of the moon, and Lyra stepped through it with Orion guiding her. As she entered the magical realm, she was greeted by a breathtaking landscape of luminescent flowers and ethereal creatures. The air was filled with the sweet scent of moonflowers, and the ground sparkled like a blanket of stardust. In the center of this magical garden stood a majestic, ancient tree with silver leaves that shimmered like liquid moonlight. Orion led Lyra to the tree, where she saw a small, golden chest nestled among its roots. This chest holds the essence of the moon's magic, Orion explained. It is yours to protect and share with the world. Your music has awakened the heart of the moon, and now you have the gift of its magic. Lyra opened the chest, and inside, she found a delicate silver pendant that glowed softly with moonlight. She knew that this pendant was a symbol of her connection to the moon's magic and that it would enhance her music in ways she had never imagined. With the pendant safely around her neck, Lyra returned to Luminara, where her music took on a new, enchanting quality. The melodies she played now carried the magic of the moon, filling the village with a sense of wonder and joy. The Moonlight Festival became a celebration of not just music but the magic that united the heart and the cosmos. And so, Lyra's melodies continued to weave moonlight and dreams into every note, reminding the villagers of the beauty and magic that lay within their own hearts and the world around them.